Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. He plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, "Come on, come."
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what? You wanted orange? An orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at a gas station.
This is bullshit. I want Bush. Pan down. We've got Bush.
Oh, hello, pie.
Too easy.
Nothing to see here, please.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Another episode of Saturday Night.
That. Oh, bastards!
And as you can see, we are already starting out strong. I am your host, Fractured Filtered. With me here is, as always, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir? Other than very agitated.
No, bruh. Okay, like all seriousness, like not even joke. Like my Plagueis book is this is very ironic timing that this crap show is happening with Plagueis, and my Plagueis book is not on my bookshelf. Somebody has come in and ransacked my Star Wars library. It's not there. They've taken my book. They've broken it.
Mouse has invaded your home and taken.
I'm not kidding. I owned it. It's not on my bookshelf. It's between. I have. It goes between Lockdown and Cloak of Deception, and it's not there.
Did you perhaps misplace it, or
no, I did not.
You put it somewhere else. Were you reading it recently?
No, they've stolen it because they don't want the truth to come out about Plagueis. They've stolen my book. My book is not on my bookshelf. Hide your kids, hide your wives. I'm not even joking. Like, it's not on my bookshelf. Somebody has taken my book. Are we being watched? Are we officially whitelisted on Disney?
I mean, we're being watched by people, yes, but no, I don't think we're being watched by Disney.
Is your Plagueis book missing?
I unfortunately have not picked up the Plagueis book yet. But I still have my other book.
Look, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, my Plagueis book is literally missing. It's between Lockdown. It's between Lockdown and Cloak of Deception, because that is where it falls within the timeline of things. Kind of, sort of. I think it might be after Cloak of Deception. It doesn't matter. It's between Lockdown and Cloak of Deception. It's not there. Like I didn't even plan this. Like we were talking before the show to play, and like I went to go find it, and it's not there. And I wouldn't read it on the toilet, so it's not there. I don't know what's that.
I wasn't gonna go there, but are you sure it's not in the toilet? Not in the the toilet, but in the bathroom.
No, the only thing that would belong in the toilet is either crap or
Star
Wars books, and I don't have. Well, I have one, not the other. I don't know. That's funny. That's interesting. It's gone. Well, no, because I was gonna get it because we were talking about Plagueis before the show. Well, just about the whole, how they did it. They did it. They did it. They went to lengths that I never thought even Felony would go. And they went there.
You never thought that they would bring in Plagueis?
No.
Everybody was waiting for Plagueis to make his appearance in this shit show.
No, I didn't think they had the balls to do it. I didn't think they were stupid enough, and I didn't think they were dumb enough. It's one thing to bring
They've already done to Kenobi and Anakin, for God's sakes.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, but them bringing in Plagueis literally just it unravels everything. Or unravels it even more than they've already unraveled it. Like this. No, I didn't. I didn't think they were going to. I didn't think they were going to. It's one thing to make Coyote Amundi however old it was. He should be a baby. He shouldn't even be born. Honestly, like I don't think he was born. Because and then Plagueis, which Plagueis, how old? 19, 18 years old should have been if. Munes lived out. I mean, they do have a long lifespan. Like this dude's like what, 16, 15?
I mean, that was like the thing I was seeing is like it was undetermined, trying to figure out like his actual age and placement in the timeline, because even in the Plagueis book, they're kind of vague about his age specifically. So
no, I didn't think they were going to do it. I know people talked about it, and I guess I didn't think they were actually going to. I had no.
I was waiting for it. I thought it was going to be more of.
I tell you why I didn't think they were going to do it. Right? I didn't think they were going to do it because we didn't see Yoda yet, and the fact that these 16 Jedis were slaughtered in a course of 30 seconds on screen. Yoda didn't sense it, right? But however, like we were talking the other day at work, we do work, but we were talking about the other. You brought a good point that like Yoda sensed Anakin slaughtering the Tuscans, right? So how is it that Yoda can sense Anakin giving into the dark side and slaughtering Tuscans, but he can't sense Anakin? Or I'm sorry, but he can't sense these Jedi. Oh, and then he sensed Order 66, right? He sensed the Tuscans being slaughtered, which I'm not necessarily against. They're, except for if it's Edyark. I like Edyark. Edyark, she's cool. Anybody who's not read the Kenobi novel, fantastic. But
Tuscan, the only Tuscan worth a damn.
Right. So slaughtered Tuscans, he sensed it. Order 66 happened, he sensed it. Didn't sense the 16 Jedi, and they didn't bring Yoda in. So I was like, okay, well, if they're not going to do this, like if they're not going to do this, and
no, he was just a cameo like Plagueis was.
Yoda?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see. He was a cameo. I didn't see it.
Yeah, he was a cameo at the end of the episode, but he didn't say anything. Or
was it Grogu? Was it legit Yoda or was it Grogu?
It was Yoda.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How can you tell? Because Grogu looks the exact same. Apparently, if you ask a Disney fan. They're the same species, and they have the same pointy ears. So did you physically see him?
Give me a moment.
I'm just saying. I did not know this. I did not know he was a cameo. Could have been Grogu.
He was a cameo. All right, here we go. At the very end of the stupid episode, all we got was this. That's all we
Grogu.
Oh my god.
Wearing a wig. That could be Yaddle.
Oh, come
That could
on.
be anybody. That could be the back of my ex-wife's head. Who is that? I don't know.
Only you can determine that one. I mean, yeesh.
Okay,
yeah.
So he's a cameo. If it is Yoda, not a doppelganger from Earth 2. If it is Yoda,
it could be. So Grogu went through the world between worlds, went back in time, and is trying to set right what once went wrong.
You don't have to use that, dude. You don't have to use that logic because Kaya-B-Mundi wasn't even born and he's in the show. Plagueis was a cameo.
He also went through the world between worlds.
Right. So like this is maybe just an offshoot of some type of campfire story. I don't know, dude. Okay, so he's a cameo. Did they explain why he didn't sense the 16 Jedi being slaughtered?
No, they do not.
Okay. Well, I will retract my statement. Then I did not know that I did not know they put Yoda or whoever you think it is. We unverifiable. Was he in the credits? Was Frank Oz credited?
He didn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. He's just the back of his head. And here, let me. I'll set you off some more. Here's of course, Plagueis. Just lurking in the caves.
I can't tell if that's his hand, a chicken foot, or a rock.
Right. OG Star Wars is going over it too, and I was like, she thought the same thing. That it looks like his hand is blending in with the wall.
I don't think that's how immune hands look. I don't know. I could be wrong. But it doesn't make the greater point of all of this is it doesn't make sense why is he on this backwater. One, again, we've talked about this, and I still don't know because I'm not a Last Jedi connoisseur or any of the sequels. But like, what planet is he on? What planet is this? Why is he there? Why and why is he looking like a predator in a cave? Why is he there? You brought a good point, and it's not even a point. It's a fact that he hid in public. He was an established Mune that was having meetings with fellow delegates of the banking clan on what's the planet? Is it start with a D? Huh?
Munilist.
Munilist. Yes, thank you. He's living a double life.
Right.
He's not in a cave hiding, breathing heavy, watching children go off into the sunset.
Look at you call them children.
They're not adults. Are they adults?
In their 20s. Probably in their 20s or some shit. They're not kids.
Spider-Man was a kid. He was in his teens, 20.
Oh my God, dude.
Listen, they're not 40. They're not 30. They're still young. The point is he's in a cave watching them. Why? Why is he there? What business does he put? How is he aware of these things?
He's quite literally there for key jangling. That's the main purpose of him.
Get that, but if he's so stupid and so dumb and has the inability to,
isn't it just frustrating?
Why?
Like I said,
are you telling me that he somehow felt the Force create these two, or one half of the twins, and this one half of the twins who are not the chosen one, but are now the chosen one? And it's funny that George always said that there was one chosen one, and that was Anakin. Now you can argue like chosen one and the prophecy being, who's gonna redeem, like whatever. Like I'm not talking about those details. But I'm talking Anakin was the chosen one. Why was he the chosen one? Because there was nobody like Anakin. He was the only one that was created by the Force. There wasn't twins. I mean, there was twins, but he was the standalone guy. He was the one chosen one. And when you use the term chosen one, that is singular, exclusive, not inclusive. That is, he is one. Not any other people are like him in the sense of how he was born. And you think that George, if this was, something important, George may have talked about having multiple chosen ones, or he would not even call Anakin the chosen one. He'd just call Anakin.
Right.
And my question now is Shmi even Anakin's mom? Because if the witch sisters created him through the Force, are they his mom or moms? Plural, as in because there's three, not
Anything's
one.
possible now, man.
Do you
Anything's
see how
possible
stupid
now.
this is? Do you see how stupid this is? And where
It's
like where
just
my mind
another
goes?
campfire tale.
It doesn't.
Hitman. Oh, you're getting so
No,
bad about
like
it. Another
next
campfire
person that like tells me that, I'm gonna just kick a bunch of coals in their face from that campfire. No, like it does. You can sit there, like, it's just idiotic. I was just in a campfire. Like no, like you have no. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Why is he the chosen one? If you're gonna go with this story, which you are, because you made it part of your canon and you put it on live television, you need to explain to me right now how Anakin is still the chosen one, and how this all happened, and why now Plagueis looks like a complete buffoon and his character just doesn't, like, it's all for naught. The research that he did with midichlorians and testing on different aliens and species, force sensitive and not force sensitive, like the book said.
Right.
Like why? Why was he next to the midichlorians? Why does Palp give that story at the opera to the chosen one? Singular. Every time I'm going to say chosen one, it's singular. Why does he tell the story at the opera about Darth Plagueis? Pre any of this diarrhea that came out, like Plagueis was a mysterious character that, I want to use the term beholden, but like there was elusiveness, there was a mysteriousness with Plagueis. Yes, you read the book and you got, obviously it fleshed out some of the details, but he was a mysterious character and he should have been left at that. How dare you put him on screen?
Well, and I think that was kind of part of other than the book, that was kind of the intention, was to keep him so.
For sure. But you would
I mean, we got a lot of answers out of that book, so it was kind of
we did, and it should have stayed there. No different than Kenobi should have stayed within the book. The only way that I guess I would have sanctioned, and this is where like people think I'm a hypocrite, or say I'm a hypocrite, and fine, whatever, but like I don't think I am, because if the creator of Star Wars wanted to do something with him, that's fine, because he's the creator. He can do that, right? Because he's not going to mess it up, right? The potential of him messing it up are less likely than a Leslie Headland who can't even get a lightsaber whip correct versus the whole bleeding lightsaber correct doing Plagueis. Like the potential is highly likely. And that's not subjective, that's objective, because what she literally did. She messed all of this is wrong. I again have said probably 72,000 times on this show, I don't have the knowledge that Alora has. I don't have the knowledge that Tim has. But I can tell you that a lightsaber whip doesn't work like that, right? Solely based off reading the Bane novels. I can tell you that a lightsaber is not a mood ring, right? I may not be well versed in like the ritual and the alchemy. OG Star Wars posted something that I read earlier this morning or yesterday about it, but like I can tell you that's not how it works. You just don't like wake up one day and you're just not a Sith.
No, you don't just suddenly
you had a bad Kryllian you had a bad Kryllian ale and now you're mad and you just want to kill younglings. That's not how it works. And the lightsaber doesn't choose for you, right? Because that would mean that it's alive and it's a sentient being, and we know that like it's an inanimate object. It can't do that unless you're Filoni, which he therefore says it is alive and it is sentient, which is just total buffoonery. It's almost as bad as having a fire in space. A campfire in space. Let me retract my statement. Where you can see the waves floating, pushing the fire back and forth. When space is, last time I checked, was a vacuum. But hey, this is great cinematography, man. This is great television. This is great writing. This is Joby Harold level writing, man, which is just fantastic. You've done nothing to explain. You have the audacity to redact, old. You have the audacity to redact Ki-Adi-Mundi's age. Which this stuff, theory, which one of the videos that I actually agree with him on are the points that he showed a card that he had that had Ki-Adi-Mundi's, they're like pop cards. He had a card that showed his actual date of birth and everything. But so it's just like you bring him in, but you don't flesh out any of the details. You just bring him in and just assume that people aren't going to ask questions. People aren't going to connect the dots that this happened 100 years before the dude was in the chair, the council chair, which he looked pretty good, in the council chair, still pretty old. But so I just, you don't flesh any of that detail. And then you bring Plagueis in, but you give no, and then you bring Yoda in, but like nothing. You just cameo, not going to explain anything. Going to bring Plagueis in, but not going to explain anything. I told you this weeks ago. We got in not arguments, but we got into the debate. I think you said that Kenobi did the worst damage to the character.
Well, yeah, some of the damage.
I stood in opposition, not in a negative way, but I was opposed to that, and I said this show has done more damage to lore and character,
right?
To established characters, and I think I still say this has done more damage to the characters, and it's done more damage to. I'm going to say it's done more damage to the lore. You can make the argument with Kenobi because Bail's a sissy, prissy, or just a sis. Like where's he at? Where's Organa? Mon Mothma is just more concerned about her daughter, and whatever Talon Card guy that wanted his son to marry her daughter, and just Yellow Belly and whatnot. But I think totality wise, like you've screwed Kaidi Mundi, you've screwed Plagueis, you've brought in 3 witch sisters that are responsible for creating life through the Force. You've made Anakin irrelevant. What else? You've made Yoda just bipolar, and I guess he's just selective in what he wants to feel. Right? He's choosing to feel, or he's choosing to sense that the Tessans got slaughtered, and he's choosing to feel Order 66 from happening, but he can't sense 16 Jedi being slaughtered. And then they're going to say that they probably weren't even real Jedi. I don't know what they're going to say. Maybe they'll come and say, "Oh, they just weren't real Jedi, and that's why he didn't sense them." Or he was on, some backwater planet that was heavily Sith influenced, and he couldn't feel the Force. I don't know. I think it does more damage I think it does no more damage because it makes Anakin irrelevant. It may by this logic, Anakin, like why is he a thing? Like how does the prophecy even come to be? Maybe I'm wrong on that point.
But the purpose of them and stuff like that.
No, but what's the point? And again, what's the point of these twins? Are these witch sisters? Are we just going to create we can't do stuff after, well, I guess you could do stuff after Anakin. You could do stuff. You could continue the story past 6 if they got ballsy enough. But like we could just now create an endless number of people through the Force. Why not just change the prophecy?
Yeah, because that's the problem. They don't.
This makes it seem like
there being any real limitations to this.
No,
they didn't really establish any what could be considered rules for how this was done. It was done.
No, but it puts the person in charge of the Force. It robs the Force of its power and its influence and what it is.
Right. Which was the whole point of Kreia. Was that she was trying to kill and destroy the Force when that was something that was beyond her grasp.
Say what you've said in the past. Say what Ben Kenobi said in A New Hope. Explain what the Force is. What does he say? Right? It surrounds us. It binds us. It binds us. It penetrates us. It surrounds us. I forget exactly like you say it better. But the point I'm trying to make is like it's the Force. It's not controlled by an outside.
No, it is its own entity.
It is
in a sense.
And this show, and maybe I'm just pulling this out my rear, but this show, if I'm watching it, it makes me think that these witch sisters are control. The Force is something that you can control, and yes, you can utilize the Force. There's a difference between. I don't know if
it is. Well, that's what the Sith believe, right? They believe that they weaponize and control the Force, and that's kind of what they're trying to claim here.
What is the difference between using the Force and then controlling the Force?
Well, like
into a power versus you.
The Jedi are one that are more in a like symbiotic relationship with the Force, where they utilize it and everything like that. But the Sith are in their minds, they are ripping control of it. They are
but
the ones
in reality, are the Sith
kind of part of the
controlling
code,
it?
right?
And in reality, though, are the Sith doing the same thing the Jedi? And I'm asking the question. I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm genuinely asking the question. If the Sith in their mind, and maybe this is a question for Laura if she pops in, but are the Sith controlling the Force, or are in,
No, they're
or
using
in
the
their
Force
minds,
just like anybody else.
for sure, but in their
own...
minds, do they think they're controlling it? Because, and this is a very important question that I want to ask, because if they say that the Sith are controlling it, well, then Leslie Headland can make a case that the Witch Sisters, or these three witches, are controlling the Force and creating Anakin. But if it's in reality, if it's the Sith doing the exact same thing the Jedi are and using it, right? They're tapping into it and they're using it and not controlling it. Well, then this whole argument that the Witch Sisters created the Force is out the window, because they're using the Force, they're not in control of the Force. And to make the statement or the claim that you can control the Force, meaning you are the one controlling it, not it, like meaning you are an entity that's telling it what to do and controlling it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't see you can do that. The Force isn't something that, like, you can use it and you can, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you can use it, you can force push, you can force choke, you do all that stuff that you using it, right? It's still a set, like, you're not in control of it. You can't tell, like, I don't know how to describe it, because I can see a Disney show like, hey man, but you're still controlling it because you're still doing what you want with it. Albeit that might be true, but you're not in I don't know. I hate that we're talking about this right now, because they could make it, if they're knowledgeable enough in debate, they could say, well, what's the difference between what you're saying and what the Witch Sisters did? I don't even know if they're Witch Sisters. These witches, this coven of witches did. So I guess my question to you is the Force something, is using the Force the same as controlling it? Or is it just a play on words? I don't think play on words is the right term, but do you use the Force or do you control the Force?
Well, I mean, okay, so
because you see how you before you answer, do you see the like how important this is? Because depending on what you say, the other side can make the argument for the Witch Sisters creating Anakin, because they're controlling the Force and telling the Force they're controlling the Force to do this.
I think it kind of goes
versus the Force allowing this to happen, which we've talked about, right? I think we discussed how the Force allowed Anakin to be birthed, or it was in control of Anakin to be birthed, right? No, Plagueis didn't. We talked about,
well, like, for Anakin, it was kind of the response to basically the disruptions through the dark side, because as we know, the dark side is an unnatural aspect of the Force. So when Plagueis was attempting to manipulate things the way that he was, the Force responded in creating Anakin. Now, the thing that threw a wrench in the whole thing was Palpatine, and Palpatine quickly sinking his teeth into Anakin and manipulating him from the very start, because he saw him as basically the perfect tool for what they wanted to accomplish. But that was his own machinations. That was something that he kept to himself and not to Plagueis, other than kind of mentions of, oh, there's this boy, and oh, guess what? We've discovered about him. But that was to hit the rest of it. The ideas that he had to.
So you tell me, did Plagueis
was his desires?
Did Plagueis influence the Force on the creation of Anakin, or was the Force solely responsible for creating Anakin? Did Plagueis have with the?
Well, I mean, if you're going off of the Plagueis book, it was a response to his actions in trying to manipulate.
Was the Force correcting itself?
But it was trying to, because remember, he was trying to create life through manipulation of the midichlorians. So that was his act. That was the Force's like response to his manipulations of things.
But the point I'm trying to make is, was the Force trying to put Plagueis in check because Plagueis was trying to control it, or was Plagueis solely responsible for creating Anakin through?
It was the Force to keep him in check,
right? And that by that statement alone.
Because that was also why
is not something that you can control in that aspect,
right?
Right.
And that was also why that was also why Plagueis got very almost fearful of Anakin and was trying to quickly discover more about the boy before he acted further, because he did not want to, because he was very deep into research of the Force, of its interactions with the midichlorians, with its interactions of life itself. And when he discovered Anakin, was clearly like, oh crap, I might have meddled too far.
But again, why would
he was trying to discover more answers? But I mean, for him, that was more to then also continue his research, but try and do it
for sure,
so that he would not be basically either discovered or at least brought more harm to the dark side than what was already done via Anakin.
Yeah, but to your point, if Plagueis was in control of the Force, why would he be afraid of Anakin? Right? The fact that he's in fear of Anakin and what happened with the Force, or what the Force did, should prove that he's not in control of, that you cannot control the Force in that perspective. Like, I am controlling the Force. I'm controlling the Force. I'm telling the Force what to do and what it can do, what it can't do, and I'm bending it to my will. Right? Yes, you use the Force, but I still think there's a stark contrast between tapping in and utilizing the Force to force choke somebody that you don't like, versus creating something like, but you tell the Force you're going to do this, right? And I think however you argue this, we have to be very careful. Well, one, we have to know. And I put a tweet out to OG. Hopefully she'll come on, because I'm very interested to see if I'm right, if I'm wrong, if the Force is something that you control, meaning you are in control of the Force, it is inferior to you and you are superior, or the Force is superior and you're inferior and you just tap into it and you use it, right? But I still think the fact that Plagueis was in fear of Anakin and feared him should prove to you, not you, but should prove that you're not in control of it. Because if that was the case, he should have known that the Force was going to do that. If he was in control of the Force, he should have sensed that the Force was going to do that, right?
Right.
Maybe not, but he didn't. The Force was counteracting. The Force was trying to, like you said, I mean, Anakin was a byproduct of what the Force was trying to correct. Maybe, I don't know if that's the right phrase or how to word it, but his own it was a response of his own machinations. Maybe, I don't know. But I can see, depending on how you answer this, the other side, if they're articulate enough, and that's giving them a lot of credit, because I don't think they are articulate. But if they wanted to argue it, they could say, well, no, you just said, they could use the fact that, if you agree that you can control the Force, if they say, okay, you said that you can control if they misconstrue the word control versus use, right? If they interchange the two, then they could, I think, come to the conclusion, or they could take the stance that, no, the Witch sisters were just controlling the Force, and that's why these twins were birthed. You see why this show creates so much problem? Is it just me? Do I just sit here and think about this stuff?
I watched the stupid show.
I know you did. I didn't, but this is the stuff that I just sit here and think about. But this is
everything. What the hell?
This is their pièce de la résistance. This show has risen to heights that I never thought, on episode 1 and 2 of our show, they would ever reach. I thought they were just, I thought Power Ranger Boba was, at the time I thought, they can't get any worse. They can't get any worse than this. They're bringing Power Ranger into this thing,
making it worse and worse,
progressively. It's progressively, right? It was Boba fighting a Wookiee, and then going into a back to tank. Last time I checked, a Wookiee could rip your arms off, according to Han Solo.
And if I remember right, it basically did the Terminator Salvation treatment, just threw Boba's head around.
Right. It goes from, you should not mess with a Wookiee because they can tear your arms off, to a Wookiee getting slashed by a wiffle ball bat hit with a lightsaber and dies. But then we got people who are literally sawed in two living. It's insane. The progression of lightsabers is that's asinine in itself.
That's a whole other can of worms.
It goes from Ben Kenobi cutting off, the dude's arm in A New Hope and bleeding all over the place, to this, whatever, the guy from Jedi Survivor hitting a stormtrooper 17 times before you kill him.
Well, that's video game mechanics.
No, because in Jedi because in Jedi Outcast you hit
Jedi Outcast did it right, and so did Jedi Academy. And that'll always be the points against those stupid new games is that they do not honor lightsabers properly. But at the end of the day, too, it is the stupid video game mechanics.
I don't think it has anything to do with the mechanics. I think you're just an idiot. You don't know how a lightsaber works.
Because Force Unleashed did the same thing.
I don't remember that.
It did. You had combos and stuff like that. That was also part of my issue with that game. Let me get to the chat really quick because we've kind of pulled a rhino and have ignored the shit out of it at the moment. So let me get to the chat really quick. Sound good?
Sure.
I will have more stuff for us to go into for this whole what went on in this stupid episode. So, but let me just get to everything. Fear of FEMA, how's it going? Saying Trump's still upright. We might get SG1 this week. Yep. Hello, Static. How's it going? Saying yo, and damn, that one is loud. I'm guessing he meant the Rosh getting shot. That one is kind of a loud one. And he claims he wasn't watching. I'm guessing listening. If you're listening, hello, sir. Hello, Carl of RNG Podcasting. Hey, boys. Can't wait to hear more about Fractured's favorite Star Wars show, The Acolyte. We are just gushing with joy over this episode. What can be said? Oh, the bestest of the best. Meteor Advocate Timon in the chat. Hello, how are you doing? Saying, hey, Fractured and Hitman. Hope you're doing well. People are just saying hello. Duke Devil 95 in the chat saying, bring on season 2 now. Oh my God, you are a masochist to the highest degree, sir. Why do you do this to yourself? I'm done. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm done. Static also said Jeudy kind of works for this version of Yoda. Grogu or Yoda or what? He's about as smart as another Joe we all know. Oh, Jeudy. Oh, I get it. And then Static said, wait, what? Your ex-wife? Duke Devil said, so this Soul Khmer saber fight was 100 times better than Duel of the Fates. I mean, I was in tears through the power and emotion that was presented on screen. It was just too much to bear. Now I'm going to get clipped for that. And it says, Plagueis is clearly showing his dark side chameleon abilities to blend into that rock. Totally not bad CGI AI artwork going on there. And Duke Devil's all for Oshamir. Not surprising. Then he says, what Hitman does not realize is that by not filling in plot holes, Leslie has allowed him to create his own story, which fits his own identity. A true gift. You just work on this stuff, Brad, or you just like it just pops in and
it comes natural to him.
It really does.
There's no literally. He literally you can sit him in front of you and he just pops off the mouth.
He does. It's hilarious.
He's a lawyer. Of course he does it.
I join in with him sometimes, but mine definitely comes out more
just as bad as he is.
I have my moments. Fear of FEMA said, why? Because the writers of Acolyte put zero thought into lore or ramifications. Ding, 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 ding. Then Duke Devil was saying, Darth Plagueis was BD before Disney. Oh, was BD before Disney. Therefore, it is not canon. Hitman, you know this to be true. All hail Grand Jedi Master Mickey. And Dad Bod Thrawn and Dad Bod Fett. For they are the superior versions to their original iterations. We Plagueis novel that, yeah. And hello, Brandon Tran. He's saying, hello there, Fractured Filter and Hitman. Hello. And then it says, why was Darth Plagueis hiding behind a rock for 5 seconds? It doesn't fit with the lore of Plagueis novel after he killed his master, Darth Tenebris. Well, that's what we were talking about too, is that it falls outside of Plagueis' character. He was a hide in plain sight type of guy. He is almost like a little bit of that cat and mouse game that especially Palpatine enjoyed doing when he wanted to occasionally flex his dark side powers just to see if they would catch on or not. When he was having a meeting with a Jedi. I love that scene. It was hilarious. Duke Devil said, nominate Amanda Stenberg for an Emmy now. Such a dynamic performance as two completely different characters, which clearly comes across on screen. Totally. Not as a dual Planko would. Totally. Brandon Tran saying, honest question, is Star Wars Theory okay after watching The Acolyte? The show has made him more upset. I've only been hearing some rumblings of Theory maybe getting a little more off the wagon. I'm not sure. I've fallen behind on some.
It, or
did he really?
Oh yeah, he's cussing up a storm.
So I mean, yeah, I haven't followed it. I haven't seen it. I know I saw Raging Rhino do a video. I haven't checked it out because even he like Theory was taking some flack for shit. Dude, like all the E-drama sometimes is just like overdone. And then on top of it, it's like it's just been a chaotic week with what happened last Saturday while we were live. The whole president, ex-president being shot at and all this crap. I was like, fuck Christ in hell. So it's been some hectic stuff. And yeah, community's kind of blowing up, imploding on themselves too. I've been watching. And hello, Greg Hates Everything, aka formerly the man known as Tuscan Bob. Their abuse of is the imbalance. Sorry. And it says the difference is that witches are silly and stupid in every story ever written. You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, I need to fully read through things like I think it's the Courtship of Princess Leia, where the Night Sisters were first introduced. So, but otherwise, I can't necessarily disagree. Brandon Tran saying, according to the Darth Plagueis novel, didn't he also want to cheat death, which is why he killed his rival Darth Venomous multiple times after cloning him? Right? Yeah. I don't know if he cloned him yet. No, he didn't clone him. He had him. He wanted to use him as a potential clone template, if I remember right. And he was, yes, killing and resurrecting him, and he even did it while Palpatine was being trained by him. And there was a moment where he did finally let him pass away and die. And that was kind of like he was then further experimenting on that effects after everything he'd done to him. Peter Everett Timon, Greg! Static saying, Hitman, I may have your book. My table was really wobbly. Static has it.
Let's go.
Yeah, Star Wars death number 439. Well, at the same time, Star Wars is saved for the 1000th time. Yeah, and I saw, what was it? There were some people doing a stream of Star Wars is dead, and they're all doing some eulogies or whatever the fuck, and I'm just like, this is kind of gay. Oh, not just kinda, it is gay. But I mean, hey, I appeared in Rhino's video, so I guess I couldn't necessarily be too judgmental, but I mean, we were doing it intentionally for the shits and giggles. And Duke Devil saying there are constant wellness checks on Theory, I hear. Oh no. Either wellness checks or people are like, never mind. Okay. So you wanted to talk about the whole lightsaber crystal bleeding thing, right?
Just explain it to me. That's not how it works, to my knowledge.
So,
Could be wrong.
okay. Hey, Star Wars Marvel purist, how's it going? Here we just got all caught up. And here he comes swinging on in saying, Greg likes something's things. What's up? Super lesbian Chrissy Gore is gay? No way. Oh, okay. It was Film Threat that did the funeral, says Fear FEMA. And hey, Marvel Peers, we are just kind of talking about the last and final episode of Acolyte. Although Hitman didn't watch it, I sadly did, and we're just kind of talking about some of the subjects that came up.
You know, like Plagueis.
Yeah, Plagueis, is probably the biggest part of that. Okay, so yeah, in the show, oops. They show because the emitter got broken, so the lightsaber got broken so easily. And then they go do this close-up shot of the lightsaber, of the crystal itself, and then slowly you see it start to bleed over and change. And that was all she needed to do. That was it. She just needed to basically think really hard or get some naughty thoughts, and that was it. And even in there, and I mean, I know this. What has been my usual tagline when it comes to this stuff? When it comes to anything Disney lore related and everything like that for Star Wars, Lucasfilm is only consistent at being inconsistent. They don't respect their own lore or anything of the sorts, but they did establish things initially in their own comics. And so, like, you have some of the panels here. The fools hid the knowledge they found uncomfortable. They could not face the darker truth, and they paid the price. A red saber is no different than any other, except it has to be made to bleed. And he says, Sidious goes on to say, the crystal from any Jedi saber will do. As you know, the Kybers are alive. They are alive. In their way. Like any living thing, they can feel pain. So through the dark side, you must pour your pain into the crystal. And when at last the agony becomes more than it can stand, a beautiful crimson, the color of your rage. And then, of course, they're burning all the lightsabers. And all that shit. And then it was so. I agreed. I remember first checking out these comics. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Marvel Pure is saying, yeah, I did a live on the finale. Haven't really edited my final review vid. Burned out on this show. LOL. Got a lot of real Sith-centric lore comics I'm going to cover before Groomer Crew comes out. Oh, I'm like, it took me just a second. I'm like, Groomer Crew. Oh, Skeleton Crew, right? Yeah, I mean, hey, more power to you, sir. Unless Static asks us to watch that one too, no. I'm staying out of it. I'm staying out of it. Done. We have.
I have to watch Voyager.
We have more than enough to watch with Stargate, and Hitman has been surprisingly harassing me about getting to watch Stargate Next Generation, or Star Trek Next Generation. So I'll have to eventually do that. Maybe that's what we'll do, like episode reviews, like we've
Brad's
done.
My secret weapon.
Oh God. Brandon Tran said, don't know if you've seen Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3 movie. Have you checked out last animated series, Batman and Joker, scene with iconic Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy? No. Can't say that I have.
Did see it come out. Thought it was interesting.
Duke said, I actually have to redo my review video because I screwed up the audio. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, Duke. That really sucks. Static saying, nah, I'm probably done with that. We'll find some other cringe. Fantastic. Any other cringe will do. Almost any other cringe. Anyways, so I'm trying to find the exact I pulled up at least. Yeah, so like Sidious is telling him, he's like, when you were draw upon the energy there, combined its power with your own, then use it, corrupt the kyber crystal, teach it your pain, teach it your anger, hear it sing a hymn of darkness. Oh my god. Like the most emo-ish freaking edgelord shit that you could think of too. Make it bleed. He just needed to listen to the Slipknot song. And then, yeah, he's just kind of going through the process. And that's the thing. Like, it comes across as much more of a process. And he even, like, through doing this power, through utilizing his power like this, he's really trying to, like, manipulate it. But, you know, that's just, like, that small part of it. He kind of has his own visions through this.
All I need to know is it alchemy or is it legit just a mood ring?
I mean, it's basically a mood ring.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes through all of this, all these visions and stuff, and then finally, yes, he does corrupt the lightsaber kyber crystal for it to be red. When apparently Amanda Stenberg just had to get really angry and it turned red. Like it was her time of the month or something. I don't know.
But to touch on like within the EU, was it a ritual and alchemy?
No, there was in the EU there was never they were just red synthetic crystals.
Right.
Usually. Unless Marvel purists can correct me on that. Well, it's my understanding was that they were generally like synthetic crystals and stuff like that.
They're not kyber crystals.
Maybe some in the natural form, but like my understanding was like they're generally like kind of synthetic crystals.
Yeah. But
again, like I say again and again, I have a lot to learn. I am still trying to learn a lot of, you know, the full lore and stuff like that. And it's hard to really decipher, especially when you've got misinformation like Wikipedia and everything, when you can and that's at least like what Tim of United Space Alliance says. You could use it as like kind of like a starting ground and then go through the sources that they list and then do your own follow-up research, which is something I need to get more into.
Yeah. But
we'll see how things really go, considering, you know, we'll be covering eventually in the future. So who knows? Marvel Pure said Charles Soule, the Piss Saber comic writer, also elaborator of lightsaber quote unquote bleeding. E.K. Johnston brought up bleeding in her Ahsoka book. This cuck soul had to expand on it. Yeesh. Static thing should have done MILF Manor. Oh no. You want animated series scene with Batman in Crisis on Infinite Earths is a way better tribute to define Batman, Kevin Conroy than Dishonorable Game, Suicide Squad. Yeah, so that's the whole lightsaber goofy shenanigans there, and how they very much retconned their own lore, or at least certainly ignored their own lore for what was the process supposed to be for changing the changing the lightsaber crystal from whatever color it was to red for the Sith. Marvel Purist saying, like everything the Sith bastardized everything of the Jedi, synthetic crystals instead of the Kyber, just like the Sith code is a middle finger to the Jedi code. Right. So there you go.
Claire's mud. Love it. So why even go this route? Like if it was a synthetic crystal, why go this whole like sentient, the crystal's alive and it bleeds?
Well, like I mean that stuff got started if I recall right within the Clone Wars series when with the David Tennant bot, and he was training a bunch of the younglings, and they were starting to bring in that whole the crystal picks you basically, like kind of like Harry Potter and shit. The wand picks the wizard.
When in the Clone Wars? I thought David Tennant bot was the Hugh Yang guy from Ahsoka.
Yeah, he was originally in the cartoon though.
Oh, I forget. I didn't.
Or in the 3D animated show.
Oh, maybe I forgot that part.
So, yeah, because they want to bastardize everything George Lucas and the expanded universe. I mean, just to simplify it down like that, absolutely. Any other questions, sir?
No, that pretty much sums it up and bastardizes lightsaber physics, I guess. I don't know if physics is the right term, but
like it was too. The funniest thing was like all she did was throw the saber away too, and it breaks like that to expose the crystal. Like what the hell? I didn't know. It
was just a real Chinese knockoff.
I didn't know. Yeah, it's like the Chinese knockoff, or like it was made of paper mache, basically. It's like, oh crap.
Oh, you know what? I think it's probably. No, I'm not gonna go there. I was gonna say it's a Theory Saber brand, but maybe it's. I don't know.
Craig coming in on why? Because these writers are writing for the Twilight audience, and they want Sith to be emo glitter vampires. That was pretty much the feeling at the end there. Yep. I'm just glad this is all done, all said and done with.
You think there's a season 2?
No, I don't care. I don't care. I've been hearing about there supposedly being rumbles of this quote unquote season 2. I don't care. I'm not looking up, and maybe I can't say I don't care because we might end up talking about it, at least just it coming to be. So I can't, I guess I'll care in that far of a regard, but like actually watching the series, if they make a season 2, that I'm not going near. I think I've pained myself enough through all of these stupid shows we've watched.
I mean, we still have Skeleton Crew.
I am not watching Skeleton Crew. If you want to watch Skeleton Crew, by all means, sir.
I mean, it could be better than Acolyte.
The only thing I may watch in regards to Skeleton Crew is Rhino's reviews, and that'll be it. And maybe Purist there if he is going to do reviews of Skeleton Crew, but good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, Static saying Kyber crystals menstruate now. Do they menstruate now? Star Wars Marvel Purist said they bought a Bangkok Theory saber. Enter promo code Walking Through the Desert for 20% off. Greg saying, in our galaxy, these guys would record TikToks of themselves in their cars. In a galaxy far, far away, they become Sithies. Sithies with a gate in the front. Yeah, Sithies. So yeah, they'd be they're the Star Wars equivalent of retards in cars. Gotcha.
Done with the show.
Well, you didn't even watch the rest of it. I mean,
I
you were at
didn't
least
need
better.
to.
You're at least the better of the two of us. So, you know, I, on the other hand, felt I had to at least see it through to the end. I don't know why I did, but I did.
It's like a train wreck.
It was kind of a train wreck. Yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, let's see where this freaking goes.
This is a side question I want to ask. It's unrelated to Star Wars. And when I say Sam Raimi's in the Spider-Man 2, when he's fighting Doc Ock and his mask comes off, was there any point in the comics that you read where Peter Parker's identity was revealed to the public?
The only time that his identity got revealed to the full public was during Civil War, and he took it off when he was siding with Iron Man in the Civil War, and because he had the backing of Tony Stark.
So as
felt safe enough and did so.
So as a Spider-Man fan and watching the Tobey Maguire movies, were you up?
That always annoyed the shit out of me that his mask kept coming off even back then. Yes, and also the villains kept finding out his goddamn secret identity. It infuriated me to no end.
Okay, I recently watched.
I do still like him, but it still infuriated me to no end.
I was recently watching No Way Home, which is absolute trash. The only good part about that movie is Doc Ock and Green Goblin. The rest of it, I think Tom Holland is a trash Spider-Man. I think he's absolutely the worst Spider-Man. Obviously, probably nostalgia plays a part in this, but I mean, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, in my opinion, are. I mean, if I had to rate them, it would literally be. I'd probably say Maguire and then Garfield, just because, like, yeah, I grew up in that era, but like, I think I've said this before. Tobey Maguire movies, they portrayed the villains, I think, more accurately. Like, I'm not a Marvel comic book fan, but I would assume that I think they portrayed the villains very accurately in the Tobey Maguire.
They still changed a lot,
right? But I think Andrew Garfield played a better Spider-Man. Peter Parker, or he played a better Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire played a better Peter Parker, I think. I always get the mixed up.
You had to bring us Spider-Man with Greg in the chat too.
That's not the reason. But I was watching No Way Home, and it's just utter trash. I just think Tom Holland's I just think he's terrible as the Spider-Man. Like, I'm not gonna attack him personally. I just don't think. When you have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, I don't see how you those are big shoes to fill. In my opinion, I enjoyed Andrew Garfield. I think Electro was trash. I don't like the villains. I mean. I think they could have probably done better.
Right.
But I was watching Spider-Man 2 because it's Doc Ock, it's fantastic. And I saw that. I was like, I was going to try to see if Fracture would be triggered if I asked this question, because I don't know. Like, they just took his mask off, and half the city sees him on the bus. Like, don't worry, we won't tell anybody. He's like, we found this, and gives him the mask back.
Yeah, I know.
So you think somebody would
like Greg here says, hey, he had to take off the mask a lot. Do you know how hard it is to constantly cry with a mask on?
I mean, yeah, I guess
it's a challenge. It is.
Yeah,
you would have had to really work on those acting chops to pull that off.
So,
Star Wars Marvel Fury says the show blows, but for me, it helped unleash some creativity, stepped up my editing skills. I also deep dives on things like Plagueis age on the first episode, using the book, not Wikipedia. Nicely done, sir. Also saying, unfortunately for people like Theory, who Wikipedia Plagueis' age, they are now on record for not knowing EU lore at all. That is the problem when you rely on that one source for everything, right?
Right.
Like, that's why we've used it for like kind of more broad things to like it would help for at least us having the Hollow Whip stuff and everything to talk about, but beyond that, it's like for the hard facts, you have to get into actually going to the books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Hitman.
Oh, so excited.
You're a Halo fan, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. You must have loved the show, right?
Absolutely not. He took off his helmet. That never happened. Absolutely not. Trash.
What are you saying to me? That was not a 10 out of 10 show.
No, trash.
Trash.
You won't ever. Yeah, you're never. No. It says something when the game story is better than anything you could put on live action.
Well, it seems other people do agree with you that is trash because the show
Horrible.
has apparently finally been canceled.
Really?
Halo canceled after 2 seasons at Paramount Plus. Who would have thought?
Interesting.
Yeah, so the live action Halo series has been canceled by Paramount Plus. The big budget series based on the popular Xbox video game franchise aired 2 seasons at the streaming service. Show originally debuted in 2022, while the second season aired between February and March of 2024. I didn't even know they'd gotten the second season, let alone I didn't know they went beyond the first season. So like hearing that they had a second season was kind of a surprise. I'm like, oh fuck. Paramount Plus can confirm that Halo will not move forward with the third season on the service. The streamer said in a statement, "We are extremely proud of this ambitious series and would like to thank our partners at Xbox 343 Industries and Emblem Television, along with showrunner and executive producer David." Is that for David Weiner? Is that for real? This is silly. His fellow executive producers, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief, and the amazing crew for all their outstanding work. We wish everyone the best going forward. According to an individual with knowledge of the situation, Xbox, Emblem, and 343 Industries will try to shop their series to other outlets. Wait, you might not be without a Halo series yet, Hitman. Further saying, we deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to global success, and we remain committed to I thought they were talking about their own show. The Halo universe in different ways in the future, 343 Industries said. We are grateful to Emblem and Paramount for their partnership in bringing our expansive sci-fi universe to viewers around the world. Now, if I remember correctly, wasn't there news out there too that the writers didn't even like research Halo, much like the writers of Rings of Power didn't research Lord of the Rings and anything Tolkien? Didn't Halo run into that same problem here? Pablo Schreiber starred in the series as the iconic character Master Chief John 117, a genetically enhanced super soldier, part of an elite group known as the Spartans. As the series begins, humanity is fighting a bloody war in the 26th century with the Covenant, a group of various alien races united under a shared religious fanaticism. The cast of the series also include... Okay, I don't care about the other cast. Kyle Killen and Steven can develop the series for television. Both were also executive producers and showrunners on the series in season 1. David Weiner was named showrunner and was the executive producer for season 2. Steven Spielberg, Justin Frank, and Daryl Falvey also executive produced via Emblem Television, along with Otto Bathurst and Toby Leslie of One Big Picture. Scott, wow, geez, they had a lot of people attached to this. One Big Picture, Scott Pennington, Chapter 11. Frank O'Connor, Bonnie Ross of 343 Industries. Series was produced by Showtime in association with 343, along with Emblem. So 343 holds a lot of responsibility for this bitch by the sounds of it. Thus ends the long and arduous road of the live-action adaptation of the games. Halo was originally intended to be adapted as a movie as early as 2005, with Neil Blomkamp attached to direct at one point. The project eventually morphed into a TV series, but it would be nearly 10 more years before it finally made it to air. I could have sworn Peter Jackson was attached to do a Halo movie back in the day. I thought he was the one that was originally attached to this, but hey, there's some good and positive news, right? There's been a death of a horrible show. For what reasons? Who knows? If they really were going off of, lack of viewership and stuff like that, then hey, that's good. Then see, the hate watching doesn't work. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say. Hitman, did you watch any of the Halo series?
Nope. No, he took off his helmet. No, that's not listen, no, I didn't. The
I
guy
don't know, a
that
certain boss of ours was talking positive of it.
I'm aware. No, it's Master Chief that you get in the game is not the Master Chief that shows up on this show. How can I say that without no, it's no, it's not. It's trash. No, he never took off his helmet. There is a game. There is if you be I'd say, I think I brought this up. There's one of the games. I think it's Halo 3. If you play on Legendary, he does take off his helmet, but you don't get to see his face. You see,
you see the back of his head or something. Oh, his eyes.
His eyes.
I don't think back to the head shot or
something like that. But no, no. Master Chief in the game is something, no, hell no, not gonna watch it. It's not the same. Not even in the same ballpark. How dare you? You go from the game and then you make this show. You've just literally just crapped on Master Chief on his chest and just spread it around.
That was the main consensus that I heard about this show. Is that it's another very heavy lore disrespecting and and they tried to justify it through it being another quote unquote timeline or something. Kind of what they did.
Campfire story.
Not campfire story, just another kind of timeline thing, but I don't know for sure. I remember some of the first outcry about it when it first dropped and everything, and people were dissecting the crap out of the first season. But after that, I didn't quite see it pop up quite like it first did. So that's why my knowledge of what was first being talked about is only somewhat there. But I mean, hey, a death of a crap TV show where they just disrespect a character is always good in my book.
Yeah, no.
I think I was hearing that it was probably Witcher levels of bad for the lore disrespect, except this time instead of having the main actor that was passionate about the franchise, had somebody that was completely dispassionate and was fine with going along with everything he's being told to do. So
yeah, no. If you want a good story, just play the game.
So would you recommend me going through Halo 1 through 3?
Oh yeah. They're fantastic.
Because I've only played I think I might have gotten halfway through ODST.
Right.
I played through Reach, but I don't really remember the story. And I played through, I think, 4, but I don't really remember the story because I was playing co-op and I was not paying a great deal of attention, I'll be honest.
So if I remember correctly, ODST and Reach are, I think, they're separate stories in itself. ODST is the Drop Troopers, if I remember correctly. And then Reach, I don't think Reach is... I have to remember. I'm trying to remember. Oh, there was one that were the Drop Troopers. I think that's ODST, and I think Reach... those two games you don't play as Master Chief. They're just side stories. And then
yeah.
There's Infinite, which again I didn't. I was more playing Infinite for the multiplayer, not campaign. So I can't speak to Reach, but 1, 2, and 3 are peak. They're essential. They're peak. You gotta. I mean, and they're all fantastic. There's not one that I think is better than the other, in my opinion. I think they all bring something to the table. It's the same I'll tell you with Gears, Gears 1 and 2 and 3. They're all equally great. There's not one I would say that's they all bring. I mean, they're all peak. So I'd recommend if you played ODST and you played Reach.
Yeah, like I said, I played through part of ODST. I got to and for some reason I don't know why, but I had it in my brain I was gonna get through it on legendary mode. Yeah, and I got through, I got through a good portion of the game, I think.
Yeah.
But I just eventually kind of got to a point where I stopped playing. I think I got sidetracked by a different game, which usually is what happens. Reach, I played a good bit of the co-op with some people, but I mainly played the multiplayer on that one because that was like, I think around the time I was working at Radio Shack, and so everybody there was all on Xbox 360. And I decided, okay, fine, I'll finally become an Xbox bro.
Can't go wrong.
And I picked it up, and I picked up Halo because that's also what a lot of the people were playing. Because I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and be social with my coworkers beyond just the typical nonsense at work. But that was kind of, like I said, that's kind of where I got into it, or I got to playing it for the first time. But it was mainly the multiplayer side.
Rate them 1, 2, and 3. What's your favorite?
I can't say because I haven't played through them.
Oh, well, have you played? Which ones have you played?
And I've been considering doing like a stream of playing through the original 3.
Okay, what have you played?
Like I said, I've mainly played between ODST and Reach, but like I said, I didn't pay a great deal of attention, especially to Reach's storyline, because I was doing the multiplayer, or I was doing the co-op for some of the storylines and helping people get like I think like some of the either achievements and stuff like that. So story wasn't like the big concern. And I played the multiplayer, which I mainly liked for, I think it was SWAT, because that was the one-hit headshot kill. And that was my jam, because that was like, I'm finally playing a game that has one-hit kill.
Yeah.
Because I ever since GoldenEye on the N64, when they had the one-hit kill mode, has ruined me for first-person shooter multiplayer games, because I want that. I want that ability just to be able to, if I get the drop on somebody and I tap them first, I should get that kill. Screw them. But that was kind of the cool thing about the Halo Reach, the SWAT mode or whatever. And I got you got that. You had to get headshots, but goddamn, was it great when you did.
Yeah, you got to go through 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic.
I remember trying to start 1, but I couldn't take some of the enemies seriously, like the little guys
dude, yeah, you got
voices or whatever. I couldn't take them too seriously, so I just like wait. I farted around and I team killed my guys like I did in Marathon, and then I was just kind of done.
No, yeah, you got to play it. Do a stream. Get Melee K involved. It's fantastic.
I'll have to like I said, I'll perhaps have to play through the series at some point.
Not perhaps. You got to do it.
Yeah, I will. Oh my.
Yeah, it's like, if you enjoyed ODST, and if you semi enjoyed Reach in ODST, then I don't see how you don't enjoy 1, 2, and 3. It's fantastic.
Well, I might just have to do that. But that's at least the news for the TV show of Halo is dead, Jim.
Yeah. Been dead. Terrible. Oh, but the show humanizes him. I don't want to. We don't need to.
Don't need it.
No.
Let's get through some of this here. Marvel Pure said, a famous man once said, trust but verify. I don't know who the famous person was that said that at the moment. I just remember hearing that when I first got involved with when I first started following Gamergate back in 2014. I heard that was a slogan that was very, very much thrown around, and everything was trust but verify. Nerdy Neo saying there is, and hello sir, how you doing? Saying there is no Halo show. Well, there isn't anymore. That's for damn sure. Static 2, yeah, what Halo show? Hello, Joseph Ricci, how you doing? Saying hi guys, hello. Static saying Nolan wants to do something based off the first 3 games, supposedly. Really? Like I said, I thought it was Peter Jackson that wanted to do a Halo movie back in the day, but Greg saying never got into Halo because I don't play video games on baby toys. You're a PC gamer then? but they are not going to find someone else to pick up the series because it's too expensive to make, right? Nerdy Neo clarifies it was Peter Jackson and Neil Blomkamp together. Okay, cool. And he says, you see that he takes his helmet off in the last scene of Halo 1, but it cuts away before you see his face. And he said, he clarified the ODST is orbital drop shock troopers.
Yeah.
He said, Reach is highly regarded in the last Bungie Halo. Okay, so then that would be the cutoff then.
Yeah.
We go through Halos 1 through 3, ODST, and Reach. Is there an order that I should go in?
I think you start one. I mean, my opinion, I think you start
from 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not sure if there's a timeline thing between some of these games, like they take place in different points. Just trying to make sure.
Yeah. 1, 2, and 3. I think you start that. I mean, yeah, because I'm trying to remember. ODST and Reach are separate from the main story, so I don't think you. And I can't remember if Master. I don't think Master Chief. Chat will have to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Master Chief shows up, or you talk about him in the game. I could be wrong, but I think you just start.
Maybe
I think you just start. Yeah, I think you just start 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, good to know. And Nerdy says Halo 3 is the best.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Halo 3 is really good. Yeah, because Halo 3, I think I forget. It's either 2 or 3 where Arbiter. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but yeah, play it. Do a live stream. Start it Wednesday.
Static saying, "Ew, social with coworkers." If I wasn't social, I wouldn't have been talking to Hitman, and we wouldn't have been starting the show.
This is true. This is very true.
Oh, so maybe he's saying I shouldn't have. Oh no. Nerdy No said, Reach ends right where Halo 1 starts. Good to know. And then it says SWAT was my favorite type 2. Sweet. Like I said, that one hit, I mean, I know you have to get that headshot, but like that's where my freaking scope or reticle always goes to automatically, is right for that noggin. But it worked out for me. Static thing there, called grunts, not meant to be taken seriously. Oh, okay. But I mean, it's kind of being a serious storyline, so maybe I'm missing something. Nerdy Neo saying, I'll play Halo 1 and 2 Legendary with. Aw, okay. Well, we'll have to work. Maybe we'll have to work that out, Neo. I know you're a busy guy. Static saying, I'm playing Reach for the first time with Alpha on Fridays. I know. I've been joining in with for this month. I've joined in on Melee Games. They've been doing their Halo community events. It's been a blast playing just the we've just been playing the multiplayer and having fun killing each other and shit like that. Although not this week, but the week before, we did fire teams, which was a lot of fun. Which was kind of like the horde mode and everything like that. That was a blast. On the 30th, speaking of, they are doing another community event. This one will be, yes, with Melee Games, but also let me get it's also being hosted by Dude 1286. We're going to be doing, I guess, this will require, of course, the Master Chief Collection and all multiplayer content installed, including Halo 4. And apparently with a little extra patience, this is not traditional multiplayer night, but one that will absolutely have chaos. And I guess we're just kind of be doing like custom modes and everything like that. Yeah, doing some wacky custom matches Tuesday, July 30th. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll, of course, be joining in with that and looking forward to the hilarity and chaos that'll bring. I'm always down for some chaos. Nerdy Neo saying, if you want to play chronologically, it goes Reach, Halo 1, Halo 2, ODST, and Halo 3. Okay. And firefight is the horse. Okay, so it is. Okay. Yeah, dude is leading the next Halo event with custom games. Oh, that's right. You just had to add either dude or melee games to be able to join the match. So yeah, Halo, what a blast! It's a series that I've avoided, but I guess it's about time I finally jumped into it.
Yes, good. You'll have a blast. If you don't have a blast, then I don't know what to tell you. Go play Spider-Man 2.
Which Spider-Man 2? There are now 2 Spider-Man 2. No, there's 3 Spider-Man 2 games.
The third Spider-Man 2.
How dare you recommend such trash to me, sir?
Well, if you don't like Halo, it might be in your wheelhouse.
How dare you?
Or Starfield.
How dare you? Nerdy Neo saying, I'm bummed I won't be able to join that one. Custom games were always my fave. Like it is, this will be a first time for me, but I'm looking forward to it. Oh, all right. It's Nerdy Neo saying, all right, got to get going. We'll catch the rest later. Hopefully it will have the chat replay it. It should. You should be all good, sir. True, Meteor Advocate Timon, there is only one Spider-Man 2, and that was on the GameCube and PlayStation 2. Couldn't agree more. Okay, so I do have this on the docket. We did go over the trailer for it last week, and it just so happens they dropped another trailer.
Gladiator? Not doing it.
No, Beetlejuice. Shall we check it out, sir?
Is it going to be worse than the first?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right?
I suppose.
I figured, since we just happened to check out the last one, and that was like even a month old when we watched it. This is at least a newer of new, so we can take a peek and see what this has in store for us. I mean, the funny thing is, I don't even know if I'll go and I'll probably wait for the movie to come out, on digital or whatever. Yar. Okay. You hear it? Were you able to hear it, Hitman?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay.
When you're all driving carpool and banging your Pilates instructors to fill the empty voids in your life, we'll see who gets the last laugh.
Okay.
My mom grew up here, that old house on the hill.
Wait, the ghost house? Is your mom Lydia Dietz?
Unfortunately,
She's a legend.
The living, the dead. Can they coexist?
Now's my chance.
ghosts aren't real. Only gullible people believe that kind of crap.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Well, so she ends up re-summoning him.
I need you to help me save my daughter. But how do I know that you're going to keep your word?
I swear on my dead mother's soul. Yes.
So I'm wondering if they're going to be trying. This is almost making me think of the cartoon a little more now.
Right.
You and the boys stand guard. Nobody gets through. Let's go, honey.
Recognize this puss.
Never seen that chick before in my life. Or afterlife.
Are you doing this?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
I'm needed upstairs. Bob, hold down the fort. Spill your guts. Who wants to go first? All right, I will. See, I'm willing to do the work.
Swear the afterlife is so random.
You're that thing from my dream.
Really more nightmare material.
Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears. There's nothing harder.
What the f? Thank you all for coming to this special occasion, but right now with like a little privacy.
You know, I almost think the last trailer we watched was much better in the sense that they didn't give too much away.
Yeah.
Like if there was definitely a time where I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not watching this. This was it. Because kind of to Timon's point, annoying. Or are you talking about the cartoon? I remember liking the cartoon as a kid. And then I saw the movie and I liked it. I liked the movie even more. At least the first movie. The first movie I liked. Hey, Dan Blackroyd, how's it going? Next. Okay. Yeah, less is more, as they say, and this was too much. And yeah, I definitely more on the annoying side. Again, this is just way too late to be doing. We talked about this last week. Way too late to be trying to do a sequel for this. They should have just left it alone. Like everything else, just leave it the freak alone. It doesn't need to be made.
No.
So I'm sorry I subjected people to this now. Now I'm wishing I hadn't. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, I mean, I'm not gonna. I guess I don't know if I've ever seen Beetlejuice through and through. Like, I'm sure I've turned it on, but like to your point, it's just not. It's everything, man. It's literally every single. We just resurrect old. We have become a culture of just plumbers, where we just constantly bring up old crap. We can never just flush something down the toilet and leave it there.
I like that. That.
Literally.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And yeah, like Greg says, wow, what an original idea. A character from first movie has a kid in trouble.
Right. Whether it be Beetlejuice, Gladiator,
it seems estranged from her parent too.
Right.
So.
It's No Way Home. The argument somebody could make that is like, oh, it's just different realities or different whatever. You're still bringing old characters.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's all of these things.
It was bringing back Luke. It's like Star Wars. Let's bring back Luke for Grogu. It's just everything. It's Top Gun. Top Gun 2, or I'm sorry, it was Top Gun 2.
Top Gun 2.
The only movie I think that is justifiable is Mission Impossible, because we will have Mission Impossible 12. Like Tom Cruise, until the day he dies, he will continue to do his.
He'll be still playing.
No, this is not the last. This will not be the last Mission Impossible.
I think you have to have an end point for things, because now it's getting to ridiculous levels with all these sequels. Now it's like you have Fast and the Furious. What? Freaking
51.
How many times can you watch a movie about people driving cars real fast?
It's not even what they do anymore. It's saving the world. It turned into literally racing cars for money and cartel to we're going to save the world from, we're going to basically drive a building up. We're going to drive a car up a building in Dubai, or we're going to drive a car across 2 towers or 2 buildings in Dubai. It's just nonsensical, man. It's just dumb. And there's no creativity anymore. We can't create anything new. So we're literally going to rob here to pay Paul. We're going to just keep bringing these legends back and abuse them and not let them just have their day in the sunset.
I would say it's abuse, sure, but if there was more of a gun to their head, they willingly accept these jobs. Fuck them. Sorry. I'm not, you can say it's abusing them, but they agree to sign on to these. They don't have to. It's not like they're contractually obligated at this point to appear in any sequels. They can say, no, sorry, we had our chance. We had our time. We didn't take it then. We're not going to do it now.
But
People they have every right to say no.
But if they don't, will they ever work in the industry again? If Hollywood says, like, if you don't do this movie, you're done. You're never going to work again. Like, you don't know. Like, Hollywood controls everything. They're like, it's a what do you call it? Not a cartel. It's a not conglomerate. There's a specific word that
mafia. I mean, you already said cartel, so mafia, cartel. I don't know,
but yeah, I mean, that's the point. Like, to your point, like, yeah, sure, they're coming back, but it's
like Blake says, everything has to be turned into a franchise now. Nothing can be standalone.
You know, it's interesting, and I think this was, I don't know if this was pre-Hobbit or post-Hobbit, but it was Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, and Hugh Jackman, and they were asking if he was going to come back, if Ian McKellen was going to come back to do new. I think they were talking about Wolverine or whatever. I forget the movie was, and he's like,
"Oh, was it for Logan?"
Maybe, and he's like, he quoted. I forget the quote, but he's like, I'm just tired of these. The problem I have with these tired old franchises, or I forget exactly what he said, but he used the term tired old franchises, and he was the point I think he was making is like he was just like he had his time and he does like he's done, like and I think just exactly that, like you've had your time, just be done with it. Let the character because the more you do these projects, the more damage or the more potential there is to damage the character.
Right.
Because the actor's not in control of where the character is going. If that was the case, you think, well, years ago, I would have said Mark Hamill probably would have taken it a different way. But I honestly think Mark Hamill would have just done what he did with Jake Skywalker. That's probably not a very good example. But the actor's not in control of it. If they were, do you think Kenobi would have been different? If Hayden Christensen and McGray...
I found what you were talking about for Ian. It was, it was...
Play it. Yeah, if you have it, play it.
It's not a not a clip, but I did find hang on.
It's on he's on the Graham Norton show with it was with Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman, I believe.
Yeah, Ian McKellen jokingly explains why he's not in Logan. So yeah, it was for Logan.
Yeah.
They're bringing it up, and on the Graham Norton show, McKellen's asked why he wasn't involved in Logan. Quote said, "I've never heard of it, to tell you the truth." He deadpanned, adding, I think when you get to my age, you want to leave aside those tired old franchises, move on to something fresh and new." So,
I think he says it perfectly. Like he's had his time. He had his time. He was in, my goodness, how many movies? There's X-Men 1, 2, and 3. There was Judgment. What was it? It was Days of Tomorrow or Future Days of Tomorrow.
Well, here. So I guess the response drew raucous laughter from the audience and from Jackman and Stewart. However, McKellen wasn't quite finished, saying, "I sometimes cry myself to sleep," he said. "I simply don't know why I'm not in it." Looking to Jackman, he asked, could you not do another one, before turning to Stewart to say, "It's time you died."
Yeah. Right. And that just, I think it just goes to, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, they've been lifelong friends. But yeah, it's like, but it's true. Yeah. It's about time you died, right? You've been around for.
Well, and even they point out in the article he died, and they talk about that he was vaporized by Jean Grey right. in the third X-Men movie, Last Stand. So it happened, but at least he had that sense of, let's just let this shit die, move on to something fresh and new. He's absolutely right in that. And if only when was it? This is 2017,
right?
Like this needs to be more of the model of what's going on. Move on to something fresh and new, please, for the love of God. But they're not, because it's they have their They have their franchises that they've got to keep milking the shit out of. They got to beat the horse dead in the dust, like
Yeah,
uh,
it's
Professor
also
X got turned into.
it equally falls on the actor too, because they can refuse. To your point, but again, the other side of the argument that I bring up is if they don't do it, will they ever work again in the industry? Because you know who controls like Hollywood controls movies. They do. There's no arguing that they're in control. So if Hollywood wants to put out a movie and you decline, are they going to kneecap you to do it? Or are you going to stand your ground and be like, no, I'm done? Ultimately, you were correct.
Like the producers and stuff with one studio are going to talk to the other studios and be like, hey, don't hire this guy because he's clearly not playing ball anymore.
For sure. And to your point, like,
hey, Shocker Zula, how's it going, dude?
They can say yes and they can say no. But again, like if they say no, what are the ramifications of saying no? Or if they say yes, do they just want to remain relevant? I now think that Hayden Christensen and Ian McGregor, there's a part of me, as much as it breaks my heart, I think they want to remain relevant.
Right. Well, yeah. So even
the other side of me thinks
kind of walked away for a bit.
You know, there's a part of me that thinks there was a part of me that wanted to believe that they truly love Star Wars, and maybe and I said that I've said this before on the show. There's a part of me that thinks that they truly love Star Wars, and that if they came back, maybe they could have had some type of control over the show, right? They could have, really done it justice. But the show that we got leads you to believe that wasn't the case. That they wanted just to remain relevant, because if they had wanted to continue the story and be true to George, we would have got something completely different, and we didn't. We got Joby Harold, and we got Deborah Chow, and we got this story of just utter evisceration of the characters. So again, that's just I don't think you can say they had I don't know, because someone could argue like, "Jay, man, you don't know that's on a personal level," but it's like, no, you're correct in that assertion. But again, if they truly loved it, if you love something and you're loyal to the creation, there should be consistency with what the creator created and what you're continuing to create, right? And so what George created and what we got in Kenobi is contrary to what George created. And that's not a subjective comment. That's like, look at it. Look at the story. Read the book, right? Again, I mean, John Jackson Miller's.
What are you saying that we weren't supposed to get the rematch of a century?
No. Oh wow. No.
Between episodes 3 and 4, what?
Because you think that would be a detail that George would have, I don't know, maybe said or created.
I love how everything comes back to this too. It's like, God damn, dude.
Man. But again, but this isn't just, like I said, I use that example for
I know.
And Hayden, right? But you have to ask, but the question is like, well, why are they coming back? Why is Michael Keaton coming back? He's got enough money. Like, I don't.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, I don't think has to.
Right. I could be wrong. I just.
Well, and Greg says the guy who cashed in to do Hobbit movies to the other guy who went. Oh, so I misread this. Like I first, when I was reading it in the comments section, I thought you were saying that Ian McKellen was on Picard. I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, says to the other guy who went on to do the Picard series.
Right.
It is kind of funny, isn't it?
But that's what I'm telling you. Like and again, like I will not watch Picard.
Yeah, these actors are 1,000%, 1,000,000% responsible for their own character destruction when they return to a franchise. And yeah, like Dan Blackwood points out, I feel like Greg is screaming Harrison Ford at his computer monitor. Right, Harrison Ford returning for all the times that he has and basically helped piss his characters down the toilet. Han Solo, and then
but that's a good point.
Jones is like, dude.
Greg brings up a really good point, because the more that you do, the more that you come back. Like, yeah, like you're. I think that, you know what, that's a really good perspective. You're 100% at fault for it. So, Mark Hamill come back, and again,
he says it's hilarious. Greg says it's hilarious to me that I still think that actors like the characters they play. Newsflash: when they go on to the talk show circuit, they are trying to sell something. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and then when they do convention circuits, it's to sell autographs and merchandise. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I read something. I just saw this video.
Doesn't like his character. You got to shake the man.
Yeah. I saw this thing on Twitter an hour or two ago where it said, why is Hayden Christensen doing all these Comic-Cons within 2024?
Oh, he's totally capitalizing off of the
and
research.
then the caption was because his fans are more loyal than his critics or something like that.
Well, I mean, like it's been pointed out.
I didn't say it. That's what the video.
No. I'm just saying it's been pointed out by better people like Alora, like Tim. They've pointed out very fervently and with a lot more. They've got all the evidence for it of just how big a fan base Hayden and them had for the prequels during the time. So it's just funny how now they try and act like, oh, now there's the fan base when it was always already there. But
yeah, so
yeah,
that's really good because I mean they're at fault for it, like and he brings up Greg brought up Picard. I've not watched Picard, and I don't want to watch Picard because next gen and my
understanding don't.
No, but in my opinion, I think next gen is fantastic, and I don't want to watch another show that's going to ruin Picard in the next gen because it's just my opinion. I just think it's fantastic. I don't want to watch something that's going to destroy it. But again, why come back again? And him coming back probably destroyed the character, whether that's his intention or not. Like whether it's to get paid or whatnot. But yeah, you're essentially right. You the more you come back, I think the more you ruin the character. Just let the character be done with it. Go do other projects. Right? You can't tell me that Picard was the only job Patrick Stewart could have gotten after.
Well, now, like, even at the when we were reading the whole Halo on Variety, like, I saw the thing up the top that was mentioning the Beverly Hills Cop Axel F movie, and I'm like, there's another prime example of just let the characters stay where they were. Even making Beverly Hills Cop 3 was too much. It's a fun movie, but it's nowhere near to the level of what the second movie produced. It's kind of like it's Terminator 3.
But it proves the point. Like, where is the creativity though? Why are we doing? Why are we letting just let these tired old franchises die? Just because you let them die doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. Let them do something else. But we are in this culture of lack of creativity.
Yes, we've talked about that so many times now.
I don't get it. It's the movie.
Well, and I'd say Hollywood has been creatively bankrupt for a long freaking time. Probably
no, and this is their cash cow, right?
But they've been adapting books and stuff like that since
for sure.
Inception. So there's always been some massive, and then there's always been based on a true story, based on a novel, or yada yada yada.
Harry Potter movies, man. Like Jake, 1 through. I mean, I'm gonna say it's technically 7, but they did 1 through 7 and they made a lot of money, but then they had to do Fantastic Beasts, right? But Fantastic Beasts, in my opinion, rode the tailcoats of Harry Potter. Came out of Harry Potter.
Well,
right?
And again, it was the whole.
And they did 4 of those movies.
Since Shaka Zulu brought up Spaceballs, that's that was said, we'll do Spaceballs 2, a quest for more money. I mean, that's all it is. It's just a quest for more money. With every new sequel franchise building thing is that's all.
It's so sad though, because you're banking on nostalgia. You're using nostalgia to make money. You can't come up with anything else, right? So you have to resort to expanding the franchises. And the stuff you do come out with is just crap. So it's you're really between a rock and a hard spot. It's what we come out with is crap, and our box office are tanking, or the box offices are tanking. So we'll just expand this franchise and hope and pray that people will go because they used to love the character back in the 80s. And we hope in 2024 they'll come solely based off that.
Right.
So I don't know, but to your point and to Greg's point is, I guess, shame on the people that are, coming back, because I guess I originally thought maybe it was a love for it, but no, it's just money. So
because otherwise these wouldn't get made.
If they started thinking, if the actors thought for 1 minute that hey, what are the ramifications if I do a sequel, right? If they truly thought about that, then maybe they just wouldn't do a sequel or a third movie or a fourth movie or
whatever.
Fast and the Furious. You're on your 12th movie. Fast and Furious, mark my words.
It's such a
mark my words. Fast and Furious will rival SVU. SVU's on their 25th season.
Well, it's like,
Fast and Furious will hit 25 movies.
well, like Fast and Furious was just Point Break with cars, and I'm sure Point Break was already like a kind of take on something else. I'm sure. So it's just funny how it's just like they just take a certain concept and keep.
I can't wait for them to do a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Oh, shut up!
And Snake Eyes will be a woman.
Snake Eyes. You getting mixed up with G.I. Joe now?
Oh, sorry, not Snake Eyes. The main character from Metal Gear. What's his name?
I don't want to tell you now.
Nah, Snake Eyes. That's what they're going to call her.
Let me go back through some of the comments. Greg hates everything, saying, my Hollywood sources have told me the super secret ending. Adam Baldwin shows up to reprise his character, and when he tries to take a picture of Lydia, he accidentally shoots her. Oh no. To be continued. Oh no. And he says, you're forgetting the crux of the entire franchise. Mumble, mumble, something, something. Family! It's all for family. Media Advocate Mo saying 3 Wolverine movies. Was there 3? Aren't there technically? Isn't Logan the 4th?
No, there was.
Or was that the
Origins? There's Origins. There's Logan. Which other ones were there?
I don't know. Maybe he's right.
Wolverine Origins was like the one with that. I'll have to look it up because now I'm wondering.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, it's kind of funny considering the
there was an Asian one too. There's one where he's in Japan.
Yeah, that's the Wolverine.
Yeah, where his claw,
and even Dan Blackroyd Day of Yesterday or Days of Future Past maybe could be considered, but different timelines, I guess. I don't know.
Cerritos
and then Logan. Okay, so Logan would have been like the 3rd one.
Who's Cerrito Sunuku?
I don't know.
David. It's Solid Snake.
Oh, for Metal Gear? Yeah.
AKA Snake Eyes, the female Girl Scout that turns.
And Shock saying he just made his wife watch Spaceballs. Very nice. We at least already got through some of these comments. He's Shock saying I wouldn't say 100%. On that, I'm guessing the actor's not hating the characters they play. Craig hates everything. And yes, Blake, I was thinking of that serial skeleton fucker, Harrison Ford. Oh no. And hello, Devo Bronk. Welcome. Saying Acolyte is a polished turd. Polished?
It's not even polished.
It's a turd. It's not polished.
It's diarrhea. It's liquid diarrhea. There's no bubbles. There's no sustenance. There's no chunkiness. It's just straight water hot diarrhea out the rear. Top 40.
Non-creativity / Al Remkes not equals not many original screenplays. The great writers all work for game studios. More money than being a Hollywood writer. But they aren't even doing that well. They're not doing a good job writing video games either. They're dire. To Hitman's point, they're diarrhea and all over the damn video games. They're doing it there too. And it says Spaceballs is a better Star Wars show than Acolyte. Well, yeah, because it was intended to be parody. Acolyte is accidentally parody. It's something, all right. Greg saying they do it because sometimes it works big. Thank you, everyone, for supporting Spider-Man No Fucks Given and Top Junk 2. Liquid Blake was saying, I will say it until I am blue in the face. It's all just a column in a spreadsheet now. Every IP is just a line entry with a monetary value next to it. If it isn't making money, it's losing money. Yes. Okay, and yeah, he pointed out that it's Solid Snake. I just wasn't going to give him the answer.
I thought it was Snake.
You're a better man than I.
Yeah, Snake Eyes. But regardless, it will be a female.
They have been planning a Metal Gear movie for years. Yeah. I remember back in 2007.
Or they'll race swap him.
They'll probably race swap him. But I mean, the funny thing is he's technically he's half Japanese, half white. I mean, he's already what? Anyways,
he'll be black like Assassin's Creed.
And then it says director of Kong Skull Island is attached to it. Yeah. And then he points out its origin, the Wolverine and Logan. So there we go. We got our setup there. Shakazilla saying what's crazy is forget Mel Brooks wrote Spaceballs back when Hollywood was allowed to make fun of itself. He did point out a few things here and there, yes. And he got in trouble for that even then. Look deep into that one too. Brandon Tran saying, speaking of popular franchise being brought back, did you know there's a new you are on the Batman stuff. There's a new Batman show, Batman Caped Crusader on Amazon is supposed to be a darker version of Batman, the animated series.
I did see somebody told me about that.
And then Greg saying, I like the one where he goes to Japan and gets acupuncture. Oh no, Static sending me stuff. Oh no, let's see.
No.
I did see this crop up. Static, and I was gonna kind of ignore it. But since you brought it to my attention, since you brought it up, how can I deny a request?
Deny it. I'll deny it. Deny it. Denied.
I am a dictator, a fascist dictator. I will do as I damn well please. And I'm in control of this bitch. So here it comes. Leslie Headland begs the Acolyte viewers to launch social media campaign for a second season. She's coming for you, bitches. Acolyte showrunner Headland begged for launch social media campaign. Blah, blah, blah. That's just reiterating shit. In an interview with Collider following the conclusion of the first season's finale, Headland was asked by Maggie Lovett, oh boy, shifting gears, one of the most popular questions that I got to ask you from Twitter was, what do fans need to do to ensure that we get a second season? You know what? Here's probably the thing. This is all kayfabe tier wrestling shit. They're just putting on theatrics. She probably already has the second season in the bank. I would not be surprised. But here we go. Headland replied, truly, any online support and love you can send the show. It's a little tricky because of the way that the internet works, but if you enjoyed the show and you want to see more of the story, any support that you can give the show on social media platforms would be super helpful. Duke Devil, Bradley, you have your calling now. Start using that cryptic wit of yours and tell them you want that second season. She continued, quote, sending love to the cast too. You've seen what Hayden Christensen went through. He's getting the love now. But give the love now if you enjoyed the performances. Even if you were kind of like whatever on the show, if you enjoyed the performances, get on their social media. Let them know that you love them or that you support them or that the performances were great. Yeesh. They were anything but. Oh my God. The wooden acting of Stenberg and Mr. Soul here, Lee Jung Jae. Oof. Like, I've heard he's good in that whole Squid Game stuff, and it's probably language barriers that made things very weird and awkward at times for what they were trying to tell him to do. It was not good. It was not good. From there, Headland stated, encourage your friends to watch the show. A lot of my work has been word of mouth. We were talking about the review bombing. Review bombing, right. So just telling people don't pay attention to the IMDb score. I mean, I tell people not to pay attention to that, to Rotten Tomatoes or any of that shit regardless. Like, no, just that shit can fuck off because it's all bullshit. She then stated, quote, if you enjoyed it, tell people. Kind of seems that it's sort of basic, but I think what's interesting is that nowadays, if you like a show, you're very rarely going to go online and be like, I like this show. There's plenty of people. I don't think I've seen people that are afraid to voice their opinions on this stupid show, positive or negative. There's been stupid people that have been plenty positive about this garbage heap. Levitt then stated, you just watch it and move on. Headland reiterated, you watch it, you move on. Maybe you mention it to somebody over dinner and be like, oh, I just binged the show. It was fun. Lee Jung-jae is an awesome actor. It usually comes up that way, as opposed to going online and saying, I love this show. So if you did love the show, then pivot and be appreciative. And by the way, I know this is already happening, even though I'm not online, she added. People have been sending me fun tweets and beautiful artwork and all the ship comments. And I'm absolutely loving it. I know it's out there, but if you aren't doing it, I would encourage you to do it and support the show. So thank you. Headland previously revealed that season 2 had not been greenlit in an interview with The Nerdist. She was asked, do you know if you're definitely getting a season 2? She said, no, big laugh. I have no idea. Well, not that I have no idea. I would say there are conversations, and I don't know when that will happen. I don't know when that decision will be made. Headland informed Entertainment Weekly the end of June that she did not know if the second season would be greenlit. She said, I'll tell you my philosophy on first seasons. Something that I've noticed is first seasons will end on what should have been the break into Act 2. So if you're aware of how they end and you wouldn't want to... it feels like everyone's really expecting to get a second season, and I don't feel that's a good idea. You yourself left this stupid show on its own set of basic little cliffhangers. Ish, whatever. Like, you didn't answer everything in your show, so it, yes, felt like an incomplete conclusion to it all, so whatever. I think you should put everything you can into the first season and give the audience a nice resolution. You certainly didn't give that. That feels satisfying, but enough nods to mysteries that you would want to see a second season, she explained. So it's a little bit of both. You don't want to leave it so wrapped up like Obi-Wan or a standalone miniseries that there shouldn't have even been an Obi-Wan. That there's no reason to watch the second season, but I think there's enough stuff in the last few episodes that you would want to have answered. It's unsurprising that Headland is begging for a social media campaign in an attempt to get a second season greenlit, given the show's viewership numbers are not good. According to the Nielsen, the 2-episode premiere only garnered 444 million minutes watched. What the hell? In his second week, the show's viewership fell to 370 million minutes. In the show's third week, the show fell off Nielsen's top 10. Excuse me, sorry. King of Collectibles, The Golden Touch, was the 10th place show with 298 million. This is how they're measuring shows, is by the minutes? I mean, I don't know if that... I don't know. I don't know if that's any more of an accurate way of what. I don't know how you're supposed to garner anything for streaming services though at this point. That's the thing of it. That means the Acolyte had less minutes watched than the Netflix series. And this is their charts here. You got So streaming TV top 10 original, acquired, and movie viewing. Most watched streaming originals, movies, ranked by total minutes, viewed by persons 2+. So Bridgerton in minutes to millions, 2,465. The Boys at 1,291. And it just goes there from there. Perfect Match, 596. Sweet Tooth, 547. I don't know any of this stuff. What do you make of Leslie Headland's plea for a social media campaign to get a second season of the show greenlit? Well, Hitman, what do you make of all this?
She'll get it because she is a woman. The force is seen. No, it'll happen. She'll get it. I don't see how Dave Filoni doesn't give her one. But I'm also very curious. Like, is it actually her show, or is Filoni like Palpatine in the shadows calling the shots, and this is actually Filoni's doing, and Leslie Headland's just kind of the scapegoat,
I don't know who is behind anything. I don't honestly care, other than that this shit is getting produced one way or another.
I genuinely ask, because it's like,
and all we really know is that yes, the Kmart cowboy himself is in charge of creative. Basically, he approves of the creative things that goes on in these shows. Last I had heard, and I think we even went over it, he approved of all the things that went on with the Acolyte. So, that's what we could say, is that yes, we know who's approving of all the lore decisions and story concepts and stuff like that. He's allowing things to be greenlit in that regards, because hey, he is in charge of that shit, right? But we already knew that. And yeah, Kennedy is what? Just she puts the money out and picks and chooses some people here or there. At this point, the problem is that it's being made to begin with. And I mean, I think I don't know if it was being tongue in cheek. It might have been, but at the same time, you just don't know anymore. How they were saying, is Kathleen Kennedy saying there needs to be more women in Star Wars? Not like we didn't already have tons already, but more was needed. So
yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks that she'll get a season 2.
Yeah, I mean, like I said at the start of this article, it was
the question I posed is,
priority is just theatrics and everything.
Were they going to get another 180 mil though?
However, they got it for this first one.
Yeah. Do you think they'll get? I mean, I don't see how you don't get one. I don't see how you don't get a season 2.
Considering who's involved and stuff like that, yeah, I would be a little bit surprised that she doesn't already have like she says, conversations are being had. I wouldn't be surprised if that does already mean that they're just trying to work out the logistics of going into a season 2, who they're bringing back, contracts, yada yada. Yeah. So for all we know, yeah, they're already planning it out. However, they plan, quote unquote, heavy air quotes on the planning, any of this stuff out. So now it's just kind of a wait and see of what will actually take place. For all I know, I'm going to be completely wrong on this. And this all gets shit canned, which is more of my hope. Believe me, I want nothing more. And I've said this time and again, I want nothing more than this all just to be buried and go away for a long time. But till then, yeah, I would be a little bit surprised if this does not get a season 2, just for alone of how they quote unquote ended the season 1, and they say it's season 1. It's not like it's like, oh, the mini series, kind of like how they did with like Kenobi and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is the mini series. So like I said, it would be a little surprising if they don't. Hopefully they can it, but if they don't,
I don't think they will. I don't think they do. To put $180 million into season 1 and not do season 2, like, I don't know.
Right.
Why they pass up the opportunity to break more lore?
Ever the freaking question.
So, and it's Leslie Headland. Like, you can't cancel a show that was created by a female who is also lesbian, who also has her wife in it. Like, you can't do it.
Yeah, she has her wife in it and everything. Oh my god.
You know, when it's your livelihood at stake, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, if it was a white guy who had a family and whatnot to provide for it, fine. Absolutely, you could, cancel and fire, but you can't do it if it's a female that's, you know what I mean? You can't, like, can you imagine the backlash that they would get? Filoni's not going to do it. They're not going to do it. It's bad PR. She could be the worst writer in all of history, which, I mean, she's up with Deborah Chow. I think Deborah Chow I think Leslie Headland's probably above Deborah Chow as far as, like, just terrible directing and whatnot. But can you just imagine everything that Disney is pushing and stands for? Can you imagine if they did that? If they just canceled her?
Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
You can't. What kind of, what they would never come back from it, and they would lose, that side of their the fan base, and they're not going to do that. They won't.
That would be funny if they did, though.
For sure, but they're not.
No, but I'd at least be there with marshmallows and being ready to roast on the fire.
For sure. Absolutely.
Well, if we have an update, we'll have an eventual update. But for now, thank God, nothing as of this time is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
But we got to torture you just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Let's see here. Dan Blackrose said, oddly, Hugh Jackman was the actor they had planned for Solid Snake. I always heard Viggo Mortensen was one of the thought to be a choice for it too. As I remember, I wasn't too against that idea, but it's a tough one to cast for. Shaka Zulu saying, "Bro, these IPs are profitable. If you didn't complete shit on them, then overspend." Dan Blacker said, "Then it was Carl Urban. Latest, I think it was Oscar Isaac, meant to be Solid Snake. I think I heard the Oscar Isaac part. Carl Urban would have been a good choice in his younger days, especially if you're trying to do Metal Gear Solid 1 or just Metal Gear. All depends on when you're trying to do that sort of thing, but I mean, in one way or another, I'm sure Kojimbo's going to make it happen.
Probably.
Meteor Advocate Timon says, Hollywood, quote, let's make a movie based on this game IP, but let's change what the fans like about the IP. Movie flops. Movie based on games always suck. I mean, they kind of do it to themselves. Greg saying, oh, it's an exclusive from the Dink site, quoting another media outlet. Brandon Tran saying, I've been keeping my eyes on Batman-related news, which is how I know about Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3 and Amazon's Batman Caped Crusader show. Gotcha. Hey, yeah, gotta keep an eye out for hopefully some more better things than what they're putting out there right now. But I mean, with WB and everything, it's really been kind of iffy with the quality of content they're putting out there. Static thing is pathetic. Has any show outside of The Mandalorian had a second season? No, you're right. Aside from Mandalorian, it has just been that series that has had 3 seasons. we've only heard that Andor is supposed to be getting its second season. And now this one. Whether they come to fruition again, we'll see. But last I could have sworn they were doing filming or something for Andor season 2. Yeesh. Brandon Trent saying, originally the showrunner of Caped Crusader, Bruce Timm, wanted to bring back voice actor Kevin Conroy's Batman, but he couldn't since that makes things a little difficult. But I mean, hey, just use AI and you could probably resurrect him that way. The new voice actor playing Batman is Hamish Linklater. Interesting name. In new Caped Crusader, which drops on August 1st. Okay. Might keep an eye out. And it says new Batman Caped Crusader show will also take place in 1940s, and Batman's appearance is based off of his first appearance in the original Batman Detective Comics. An interesting look, especially to go for. That was quite the look. Static saying, need more Carl Urban in general. He does good shit from my understanding. I still need to watch Dredd. Like, everybody just loves that movie apparently, but I just have not watched it. But then I'm not too well versed on the IP other than what Stallone did back in the day for Judge Dredd. Dan Blackroyd saying Metal Gear Solid Oscar was going to play Solid, but weirdly, I don't think he was going to play Liquid also. But they're twins, you have to. They released some Shadow Moses concept art, but it's never gone anywhere in years and years. Well, yeah, and hopefully that's where it stays in the conceptual phase. But it won't surprise me that Kojima tries to push something forward if he's not somehow involved. Although I guess Konami, that's such a weird case now that I think about it. It's like, wait. I had to take it back a moment. Kojima left Konami. Konami's prior, they own Metal Gear. So I don't know who would be handling it, who would take over for it, and how it would get put together, if at all. I mean, Konami's put out their shitty Silent Hill movies and stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me that they do eventually get a Metal Gear Solid put together, but I guess only time will tell on that one. Oh, that Brandon Tran saying Borderlands movie might be a flop since the producer is Avi Arad from Sony. That movie looks like hot garbage anyway. So yeah, regardless of the producer, the way that movie already looks, and from the trailer that I most recently saw of it, looks like shit. And I can't say I've ever been a huge fan of Borderlands. The game's been kind of fun, but otherwise, nah. Okay. So, I think this might be kind of an unfortunate down note to go into. Let's see. Dan Blackroyd says the new Snake Eater remake is just Konami. It is, yeah. Don't know if Kojima has any involvement. Kojima does not. I know Konami put out a statement, I think, on social media or something, that they would like to reconnect with Kojima to do either a Metal Gear or something. So maybe some things are being changed. Who knows? But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Konami's primarily in charge now. Or only in charge. Static saying Borderlands is a perfect example of not giving a shit. That's for sure. Speaking of not giving a shit. Well, certainly at least of your own appearance of your company and stuff like that, for sure. Nightdive Studios, a company that I had at one point in time spoke very highly of, and I wish I still could, but unfortunately they've made a critical mistake. They rolled snake eyes on this one. Nightdive Studios boss boycotts company for supporting Trump after assassination attempt. They pulled a destiny on us. Sticker Mule, a printing service company, has gotten blowback from the head of Nightdive Studios supporting former U.S. President Donald Trump after he survived an assassination attempt. Quote, Donald Trump was shot. I don't care what your political views are, but the hate for Trump and his supporters has gone too far. Sticker Mule co-founder Anthony Constantino said in a statement sent out to their customers and on social media. He added, quote, people are terrified to admit they support Trump. I've been scared myself. Americans shouldn't live in fear. I support Trump. Many at Sticker Mule do. Many at Sticker Mule also support Biden. The political hate needs to stop. The head of Nightdive Studios, Stephen Kick, promptly voiced his rejection of their message by announcing he is boycotting the company and likely not using them for their products anymore. Quote, you've lost my business, Nightdive Studios head Stephen Kick said. And further, anyone who supports this monster deserves to go down with him. Soon after Sticker Mule sent out the message to their customers and followers, the expected wave of death threats came from presumptive Joe Biden supporters, the sole opponent of Donald Trump in the 2024 election. To combat the onslaught of death threats, Sticker Mule announced a $2,500 bonus to all 70 plus of their support staff who are currently holding the front line against endless death threats to the company and its staff. Numerous other notable public figures have unfortunately committed a federal crime by wishing death upon the former U.S. president, like Tenacious D's co-founder Kyle Gass, who put out an apology and what I recently heard also just deleted it and recounted it. So yeah, here's the full message from Constantino. And we'll hear it. Donald Trump was shot. I don't care what your political views are, but the hate for Trump and his supporters has gone too far. People are terrified. They admit to support Trump. I've been scared myself. Americans shouldn't live in fear. I support Trump. Many at Sticker Mule do. Many at Sticker Mule also support Biden. Political hate needs to stop. Today, a bullet almost killed Donald Trump. He's got 5 kids. One's still a teenager. No one should have to die and sacrifice the happiness of their family to run for office. If Donald Trump can risk that, the least the rest of us can do is vocalize our support and help end the hate. The more people realize that kind-hearted, compassionate people support Trump, the sooner the hate will end. Well, they made these rules, so they're going to have to stick by them. Sorry to say. But further on his message here, saying, I'm speaking up today and will do more in the future to stop this insane political hate. Awesome people all over the world love Trump. Don't limit your friendships and diminish your happiness by indulging in political hate. Vocalize your support. Stop the hate. Anthony Constantino, co-founder of Sticker Mule. So, yeah.
And you don't support them anymore?
Nightdive Studios, they lost my support on that one. That was an unnecessary comment to be made. Like they say, you know, what God. And here's the they archived it. Good on Niche Gamer. They know how to do the archives. Stephen Kick saying, you've lost my business. Anyone who supports this monster deserves to go down with him. Yeah. As much as I have loved Nightdive Studios, what they've done, the way they have ported old games like Turok. I haven't played 2 and 3 for Turok, but I've played 1. Very well done for port. Even the System Shock Enhanced was also a very well done port, especially for an old clunky game like that, making it supportive for modern controls of mouse and keyboard, and being able to like limit the very obstructive user interface and stuff like that. They did a very good job on all of this. But when you come out and be an asshat like this, when somebody that is just trying to put out a for once, positive sort of message, even as I know I heard Chiefster snorting behind me. But trying to some ways bring some positivity and everything. It gets that shit on by the head of Nightdive Studios. Sorry, but yeah, and like I as far as I've heard, they've done a good job with even the Dark Forces port over. For even
the fact
redoing some of the cinematics and stuff like that. I would have been on board if they were going to do like Dark Forces 2. And I wanted to grab their the Turoks 2 and 3. And I have talked endlessly positive about the System Shock remake, despite their developmental problems for that time. I was very positive about the game, especially once it was fully released. I played through it. I did it as like a Rumble exclusive. Thoroughly enjoyed the game, but now them, just like the developers of Subnautica, who got rid of their sound designer over some, right-leaning, quote unquote, comments that he had made, he got shit canned. And so I deleted and uninstalled that game. Or I certainly uninstalled it. I tried to do a return through Steam. They wouldn't let me because I, of course, already sunk more than 2 hours into that game. But I won't ever play it again. And sadly, for Nightdive and for their games, they're in that same boat now. Where unfortunately I will not be supporting their games. I will not be playing their games. I will just go and do what I've done with even the original Dark Forces. I'll mod it and make it playable through mods. Because people did that. Much more General Tantor, who we've talked about on this channel, and his mod for upscaling and stuff like that for Dark Forces 2. And yeah, so that these people will easily go for blood. So I'll easily close up my wallet on you.
They politicize everything.
Well, the personal is political in their eyes, so that's why they politicize everything.
For sure. It doesn't matter how good you are about porting games. It doesn't matter about the product you make. If you're gonna take this route, then like, okay, you don't have my business. You can hate Donald Trump, that's fine, and you can love Biden, and you can love Donald Trump and hate Biden. Like you can love Donald Trump and hate Biden, or you can love Biden and hate Donald Trump. It doesn't matter. But like at the end of the day, like, I agree with what you're saying.
And my brother and I were talking about this on our drive home from work and everything. I'm just like, just for once, can at least we get like a gaming company that doesn't just turn full ass hat and do something like this? Like, we're running out of this. And people are like, why are you so cynical and negative towards the gaming industry? Well, it's shit like this that just turns it on its head, and it just further pushes me away, certainly from more modern games. It's unfortunate that they do this, especially through a company that has done so well to make old games that I would recommend to people in a heartbeat to go back and replay. Now, like, I have to basically go back to reverting to like the alternative paths instead of like some well done. They rebuilt some of these games to make them playable on these systems through mouse and keyboard and everything like that, to detect new like either controllers and everything. That's all that goodwill that they've basically built up is now shit down the toilet, all because they had to make I don't know if insensitive comment or whatever, however you want to put it, but they just had to go and do it. And now it's just like, well, fine. I know exactly what I'll be doing, and that'll definitely be not supporting any more of the games that you put out, because I was also really looking forward to the System Shock 2 Enhanced.
Yeah.
After what they did with the first game. So, yeah. Like I said, kind of a pisser to go into this and everything, but this was something that really just frustrated the shit out of me because, like I said, I loved what had been done with these games that they worked on. They were showing such great promise. I think they even did like the Blade Runner re-release and everything. So it's just, like I said, it's just like one thing after a goddamn another. Just can't keep them. At this point in time, these people have had this Trump derangement syndrome since 2016. You can let it go eventually, right? Oh, wait, no, you can't. Because you guys at least actually know what you're aiming for. Unlike the other side, which can't get their fucking shit together.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything you want to add to the comments here.
No, I just like I told you.
No, I just told you, like I was saying, it's like it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know. It's just everything is politicized, and you can have your opinion, and like I said, you can hate Trump, you can love Biden, you can love Biden, you can hate Trump, but it goes back to what I told you or what we talked about last week. Like the dude. Like whether the dude almost lost his life, whether you say it's fake, it was staged, like whatever, like the dude almost lost his life, and like it's sickening to see.
And somebody did lose their life,
right? And the same thing. And here's the thing: I'd be saying the same thing. I'd like to think that I'd be saying the same thing if it was Biden, because at the end of the day, like it's a life that was almost lost. Somebody felt the need that they had to take somebody else's life. And everybody's coming out of the woodworks and saying, "Oh, you had one job you missed, blah blah blah." And another guy, like there's other people who there's two people who died, and it's just it's like everything is political, right? So to your point, it's like it doesn't matter how good you are at making these games or releasing these games or what you do for the community. It's like if you're gonna go and make these comments and like what, at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna give you my money because and I'm not going to support like those type of comments. Like again, it's your opinion, but just because it's your opinion doesn't mean I have to agree with it or support it. And so I don't know. It's just everything's political. And it sucks because like you did quote these guys a lot, and you did talk about these guys a lot, and you did, and it's just that. This isn't just like IGN, losing credibility over the years. Like this
isn't like another. This isn't like EA or BioWare or anything like that already have.
These are the guys that I feel like were in the trenches trying to do good to the community. So,
yeah, especially like I said, especially for older games, making them playable and everything. Now I'm just like, all right, back to the modders, back to the people that are really passionate about this, not going out of their way to make stupid political statements like this. Like, fuck off.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Unfortunately, as Dan Blackred points out, you got at least 4 more years of this derangement syndrome going on.
I just don't know.
We'll see, dude. We'll see.
Crazy, yeah. Man, the Trump derangement syndrome is so crazy because it's like, did people have it with Hillary? Not Hillary. Did people have it with Clinton? Did they have it with Bush? Did they have it with Obama? Did they have it with Carter? Did they have it with Reagan? Did they why is in my lifetime, there's always been
divisive
there's always been
political figures, but it just feels like
I don't like this person, or I vote for this person because I don't like this person. But there is visceral hate for Trump, right? And I in my lifetime I've never seen this type of hate towards an individual that has held office. Sure, like to your point, there would be disagreements. I thought Obama was an idiot. I think every Democrat for the most part is an idiot because, well, Democrats of late, I will say, because I just don't agree with. I think what they believe in is wrong, right? And the way they go about it, right? But again, I'm not I don't wish somebody would put a bullet in their head. I don't wish they'd go down the street and get in a wreck and die. I don't wish their house would burn on fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
People do that for Trump. They want him dead. They want to see him burn. They want and it's just and Hollywood's coming, and I think it just comes down to the fact that like he turned this country on its heels, like he was exposing people. And I'm not, and again, I said this last week. I'm not saying that he's without guilt. I'm not saying that he's perfect.
Yeah,
like nobody's going to save this country. Nobody's going to save this world other than one. And he doesn't hold political office, right? I've said that before. But this, I don't understand where this hate comes from. Can you like just think about it? Somebody is like jokes are coming out, and people are saying you had one job and you missed. You were less than 100
right.
You missed the shot. Like this is like, were people saying that when maybe people were saying that when Kennedy got shot? Maybe people were joking around that, like, you know, I don't know, man.
There could have been. I mean, there are just some very, you know, spiteful, angry, hateful people out there, so that wouldn't surprise me.
I get that, you know, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And it's like people are crazy because like they're going crazy.
Well, okay, so like
why?
And Static points out, oh, it will just shift to the next Republican. They did the same shit with Bush. They just amped up the rhetoric this time. Yeah, W. Bush was the closest I remember, says Fear of FEMA. He was, yeah. So, and Black wrote as well. Bush was pretty bad just after 2001. The late night talk show host roast him over for years, but it was a gentler approach for the most part. It was, and the thing was like when he left office, it felt like it pretty much stopped. Like there might have been still the occasional person here or there that made the comment about Bush from his time in office, but like Trump left and they just didn't stop talking about him. It still kept going, and that's where it just feels a lot more different. It's like that's why you know TDS got really started too. It's like it amped up even after he left office. Like it was still being talked. But it could be like it is. I'm paying a little more attention to things nowadays. So that might be why I think it's more amped up than it was during Bush's time. Right. I certainly didn't like the man back then for what was going on and what was potentially around the corner, what I believed could have been around the corner. But it definitely felt different for the jabs and everything they were taking at him versus what they've done with Trump. So I don't know. Fear of FEMA says, my high school history teacher told a story of him cheering on his college campus when he heard about Kennedy. Don't know why he told us that story. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Static saying, because Trump could come back. Bush served 2 terms in a row. No, I know.
Obama served 2 terms and he's currently still the president. Like, so I'm being genuine. Like, you know, Obama served 2 terms and he's still running the country. And anybody who says he's not, like, is crazy. I gotta find this clip. There's a clip of him. He was an interview with him and he said something about like how he wouldn't want to be in office for a 3rd term, but he'd rather be in the basement calling the shots or something like that. Like this was legit. Like this wasn't a deep fake video. Like I remember seeing it, but he was very elusive with what he was saying. But because someone asked him if he wanted to go for a 3rd term, he's like, well, obviously legally I can't because, you know, it's only a 2-term law or something like that. But I could see myself, I'd rather be in like my basement drinking lemonade, calling the shots from an earpiece or something like that. Kid you not, it was a legit video that I watched, interview with him, and it's creepy.
You sure it was an AI video?
No, well, I mean, I don't know. You bring up a good point because I don't
know anymore.
You don't, you know, it's a fair point, but I'm about 96% sure it was real. But there could be 4% that could be AI, so I don't know. But think about it though, like. Could that not be a thing? You really think Biden's calling the shots? No way. No way.
I've been pressing X to doubt for a very long time. Yeah.
who's running? You know, like it's just no. There's no way, dude. He's not. But again, even if the Republicans in office, like, do you really think like that these hooded figures only run the country when a Democrat's in office? No. I think they're less likely.
Static has that clip somewhere in his bookmarks.
He's got to find. I want it, but like, yeah. I mean, is it better when a Republican run or is in office? Well, I don't know. I think was when Trump was in office, and that's not subjective. We can go through the facts and look at what where the country's at and where inflation was, and we can look all you can't just conjure up these facts out of just pulling it out of a hat. Like they're like legit facts, legit metrics, legit numbers, right? And I think that's why they hated him, because he's exposing stuff. He wasn't a politician. I've said this since day one. He was he knew how to work a teleprompter. He knew how to work an audience.
Yeah.
Right. But he genuinely was a businessman. Whether you want to say he's good, I mean, the left will paint it as he's bankrupt and is terrible. And all that, but at the end of the day, he was a savvy businessman. Whether you like him or not, that's the fact. So I just think for the first time he challenged the status quo, and people don't like that. You start ruffling feathers, absolutely not. You either stay where we tell you to stay and don't ruffle anything, or we're gonna destroy you. You're either with us or you're against us, and it's far better for you to be with us than against us. And he was against them, and he's continuing to be against them. I heard this thing, and we can go to Stargate if you want, but somebody was saying he's a Christian, and he was saying that this whole thing's staged. And I think I said this. I don't know if I said this last week, but I don't know why it would be staged. I don't like.
Yeah, we were kind of, because I think even then we were already seeing some of those comments being made that it could be potentially staged. And
there's a video that I want to. Oh, I'm going to save it for next week. There's a video I'm going to grab for next week, and we're going to watch it and then get your thoughts.
Make sure you actually save it and have it aside, and we'll talk about it.
I will. I'll put it in one of the Discord tabs.
Static says, no Republicans suck. Trump is the only president in my lifetime that did anything that people could notice it was better.
Yeah.
And Dan Blackridge says, I heard Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy were running it all.
Dan Blackroyd, you might be onto something.
Let's not start that now.
That's
okay. Here we go. Instead of being on that kind of negative Nancy news, I do have here is something of a bit of positive.
Before we go on, where do we go now for mods? To the modders themselves?
Yes, to the modders themselves. Moddb.com is a great resource for looking for mods and stuff like that. As much as I hate the place now, especially with some of their rhetoric and their censorship of other mods, Nexus is still a good place. The basedmods.com is sometimes, for some, have been kind of iffy.
Adbods.com?
Basedmods.com.
Based mods. Okay,
I believe it was. Be a little. I've heard some people having some really sketchy downloads from that site on occasion. Not a normal thing, but just as a heads up, always be aware. Always have that virus protection active, just in case you don't want to get hit. But yeah, that's another place to go. And for certain games, the Steam Workshop is a pretty solid place to go to too. So
for now,
yeah. Exclusive. So, like I said, for a bit of positivity here, there is a great site when it comes to old games, and especially for those of you out there. And I know when Nerdy Neo gets to this point, he already knows all about this, but I'm sure he'll be giddy with that. This is, of course, being further talked about. But if you are one of those achievement hunters, collectors, and certainly enjoy, and I'll admit I can get behind doing some of the achievement hunting, or at least gathering, or just achieving them. Can be kind of fun sometimes. You get that little dopamine hit reward of, the little bleep bloop. You earned this achievement. It can be fun. But there's a great site called Retro Achievements. It's retroachievements.org. They do through the community, they create a bunch of achievements for different games. They have a long list of different platforms that they do support. In particular, when you go to the download page, they have all the different emulators that you can use to do so. And like the main one is kind of RetroArch, just as kind of that focused all-in-one. Like you see right here, you got RetroArch. It supports basically all the different platforms available. There are some out there that are very specific, like PCSX2, DuckStation, and Dolphin. Dolphin is going to be one we're going to talk about particularly in a moment. But it's a great site. I found this place back in 2020. I want to say, when I had my original account. I have created a new one, Fractured Filter. You can follow me on there as well if you are also looking to do achievement hunting. I'm following Nerdy Neo already. But the cool thing is they have created achievements for old platforms. So even like the Super Nintendo, they have their list of different games here, which I think could be really cool. It really does kind of give people that idea of, hey, maybe I will dust off an old game, one that maybe you just haven't beaten in a really long time, or want to beat, or hadn't beaten. Maybe you got really far, and this is kind of that extra incentive to go on back and start doing so. They got, of course, Donkey Kong Country. And here's like some of the setup for it. They just kind of show it off here, but then you start seeing just the basic achievements. Like it is just getting like beat World 1, and then they will start adding additional things from just finish the game, collect the 99 bananas, collect all 4 Kong letters in one level. You can like the different bonus rooms that you can get to, and even just collecting the Kong letters on other stages of the game, of different areas. Find the blue balloons, all sorts of different challenges and stuff like that you can do in the game to, like I say, give you that aspiration to want to go back, play some old games. And I will say, I was looking in the PlayStation side, speaking, Meter Advocate Timon mentions DuckStation. I was looking at the PlayStation 1, and the very clunkiest of clunky fighters that I loved back in the day, and I do still occasionally fire up just for fun, especially to hear that old soundtrack, is Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, which they fantastically do have retro achievements on here. Where is it? I was just looking at it the other day. Where is it? There it is. Here we go. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Anybody that remembers this old game that played it? I remember I think I rented it once from a Blockbuster that happened to have it. And then I got the Japanese import for it after I got my PlayStation modded back in the day when you had to really do that sort of shit. And of course, even for this, they've got their list of achievements for just beating the game with different characters and the different modes, building up characters in the challenge mode, in the whole little block mode where you can go through, you can build up particular characters and do that. I remember we had so much fun back in the day leveling up different characters and stuff like that. Sheefster, he played as the Super Vegito, and man, his kick combo was devastating. It was hilarious, just like how badly, just from him spending time working on that particular combo, would then just stomp the hell out of you. And I built up a Goku Super Saiyan 4 myself because, hey, if you knew, you knew. There was the 2 cheats that you had to do to unlock a majority of characters, and then there was one last achievement that did help you unlock Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And this game was definitely my first introduction that I can think of to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, because like it was, we hadn't gotten everything yet. A lot of stuff was still slowly but surely trickling into the West. So I didn't know at the time who even Pan was. I didn't know that was Goku's granddaughter for a while, and Gohan's daughter. And so until like once I started getting more access to online and being able to look up different details, I started figuring stuff out. And then of course, slowly but surely, more things leaked out or got, thanks to people actually translating themselves, the old fan dubs, putting them out there, and started finding out all this information even more so. So I think that's pretty cool. And they even for an old RPG that I saw just now scrolling through one of my where was it? I just saw it again. I just saw this damn thing. Yeah, Breath of Fire. They have Breath of Fire 3 and Breath of Fire 4 achievements, which may I don't know if that'll actually tickle the fancy of Sheafster, because I know these are two of his favorite old RPGs as well. But he doesn't always care too much about the whole achievement thing, but definitely for anybody can be something that'll kind of maybe just kind of encourage playing through. But the whole thing to all this too, the part of the point to all this is now, thanks to with the help of the Dolphin emulator, they now have access or ability to start. They've been already now creating GameCube, now available on Retro Achievements. So Retro Achievements is proud to announce support for its 52nd console, the GameCube. In order to earn achievements on the GameCube, you must use the standalone Dolphin emulator, which is available here. Note, please update to the 2407-68 development build of Dolphin before playing. Nintendo GameCube launched in fall 2001. This was I love this system to death. This was the first console that I bought with money from my very first job. I loved it to death. And I'll say for sure, yeah, this will definitely help me kind of get back into playing the games from this system. But yeah, it was launched in the fall of 2001 as a successor to the Nintendo 64. Features a handle so you can whack people with the GameCube and yell, "That's my purse! I don't know you!" The system used mini discs, which actually spin backward as an attempt at anti-piracy. God bless you, Nintendo. You are always doing everything you could to try and go against the piracy thing, even back then. This primarily worked until the end of the system's lifestyle. Unfortunately, the mini disc format was hard to develop by third-party developers. Although the GameCube was not the lowest powered system of the generation, that honor went to the PlayStation 2. It did often receive buggier versions of ports. Still, the system was not short on power or exclusives and boasts some of the most memorable exclusives in the generation. With this launch, Retro Achievements is proud to announce this is our biggest launch of all time, with over 100 games here at release. That means GameCube will launch with 25% of the system's library already available. That's pretty cool. This project was spearheaded by Lily Jade at the coding helm, and the entire project at this point was a good 2 years of work. We also have to thank our partners at the Dolphin team for working with us to get this product out the door. We also need to thank the writing team led by Nepiki, who have made sure these sets are set up to a high standard for English readability. We also can't forget to thank the Dolphin testers for taking the sets and beating them with a hammer to find the lingering bugs and errors. Finally, thanks go out to the rollout team who have helped over the past 2 years, including Snow, Sting X2, the Mystical One, Auburn RDM, Pingu, Televandalist, and Saturian. And without further ado, the starting lineup of the GameCube. And this is what they had to launch with. And they've been already adding more upon more games to this list. And I know Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. I'll definitely have to give that a looking into more. I know I saw, and of course, Wind Waker. Good time to play through that again, along with Twilight Princess. I did see Metal Gear Solid Snake. Oh, there it is. Yep, Twin Snakes is in for achievements. Metroid Prime. So I mean, the list it is. And the true Resident Evil 4 on GameCube, the proper version to play. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say, it's really cool that they've done this. That this whole community has just been building achievements upon achievements to make this a new little thing for older games, for people to go to. Not everybody wants to go back and play older games. I understand that. But I mean, then the rest of us that do still love going back and playing this, just more incentive just to kind of go and do so. Like I said, I'm really this game I'm definitely wanting to play through again. Twin Snakes, the remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, very much more amped up for sure. For the cinematics and stuff like that, they definitely make Snake into much more of a kind of superhero, super spy. Probably more along the lines of James Bond than anything. But I mean, yeah, they've got the achievements here. Find the DARPA chief. Defeat Revolver Ocelot using lethal means. Defeat Revolver Ocelot using non-lethal means. And I mean, that was a thing. Even back then, like, you could go through, especially like Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater was when you could do non-lethal runs. That I remember. Oh no, Metal Gear Solid 2 had the trank gun as well. So, but yeah, and then defeat the cyborg ninja. It's etched into my memory. So the Mantis's power when you go up against Psycho Mantis. For sure. I mean, I'm not gonna, the way I like to go about earning achievements mostly is I like to play through the game first, see what I earn just by playing the game. And then once I've like either beaten the game or whatever, then I'll go back and check out and see what there is to like earn, replay through and stuff like that. So definitely got to say, this is pretty cool that they've got this all set up now. They've got this big list. And like I said, they're already adding more because as of yesterday, they said, welcome GameCube lovers. It's time for your first stats and facts update. So they're already keeping an eye on everything. Least played, most played. So far, Mario Sunshine has got the most players, along with Smash Brothers Melee and Mario Kart Double Dash, and Luigi's Mansion is in the top 4, along with top 5, Twilight Princess. So
that's a fantastic game.
It is, and the great thing too, the great thing to point out too is that the Dolphin emulator allows you to mod the system for HD textures. So if you want to, I know Twilight Princess has them where you can get 4K HD mods, and say with Mario Sunshine, you can get some high definition mods implanted into these old games. And so that's even a double bonus. And it's really, you can find them. I think they have like the, there's the forums for, I don't know if I have it in my modding folder. Yeah. So like, for example, Super Mario Sunshine, UHD texture support. And you can throw mods in to help update textures and stuff like that for these older games on the Dolphin emulator. The thing is really, really impressive. Like, it's pretty cool. So here's like the Twilight Princess stuff. You can find forums.dolphin-mu.org is where you can. Dang it. Does not exist. I was trying to go to the 4K HD of Twilight Princess, but otherwise retroachievements.org. Great place if you want to sign up, start adding, and then it's like you with the emulators, you log into them, and then you can start playing games, any games, and start earning achievements. Like it is, I just created a brand new account, so right now there's nothing on there. I plan to do some streams of playing some of these games, earning these achievements and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to it. And as even Meteoric Timon, he said Breath of Fire 4 is the best one. It's that Sheefster approves. Sheefster definitely approves of that. That was definitely the one that he played the ever loving hell out of. I like 3 for definitely like the soundtrack and stuff like that. And I like the Dragon Gene stuff. Let's see where it's Breath of Fire 4. There we go. Yep, and they've got the achievements for that through Duck Station. It makes it easy to just log in and you can start playing, start earning those achievements if you want to, or just play the game and just have some fun again. Enjoy the past. The games that don't suck ass. What's that?
Because we definitely don't have a future in gaming.
The future of gaming does look pretty bleak right now. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's I want to that is a positive way I think for gaming, for retro gaming and everything of the sense. Look for it, go check it out if you want to. I say do, because you can only just have more fun with some old games.
You don't beat Twilight Princess. It's fantastic. I mean, obviously Majora's Mask, but still.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Zelda series is generally very top tier, but Majora's Mask, and they do have that as achievements you can earn for the N64 or GameCube, the re-release version. I think it's like the Master Quest edition or something like that. Yeah, so they have that as well. Good stuff. Good times. Good times.
Let's go back then.
Right. Fear of Fema says virus protection gets you PSOD. Raw dog that internet. Meter Avic Timon says I use Duck Station. Great. It is. I like Duck Station as well. It's a great emulator. Static saying could have Bloodborne emulating by end of the year. Are they getting that far with the PS3 emulator? Or a PS4 emulator? If so, very nice. Dan Blackroy saying, throw Diddy off the map. Yes. Achievement unlocked. Dan Blackroy saying, they use the Twin Snakes story for the Metal Gear Solid motion comic. If you haven't seen them, they are awesome, fully voiced by all the cast, and add some interesting info for Mantis with a bonus. Really? I want to say I've seen it, but now I'm not so sure. I'm going to have to look for that. I remember the story behind. I just remember hearing the story behind Twin Snakes that supposedly David Hayter, who voices Solid Snake, took a pay hit in order to bring back the whole original cast. Like he was like spreading up his paycheck to go to the other actors to bring them on to get the full original crew on board. Again, supposedly, this was a story I just remember hearing back in the day. Take it with a grain of salt, as you would. And then saying they made another for Metal Gear Solid 2, which is good as well. Good to know. Again, I'm going to look for that. They have them on YouTube. Okay, that answers that question. The HD Legacy digital graphic novels. All right. Meteor Advocate Simone saying 3 was buggy as fuck. It could freeze with every loading. I didn't have that kind of problem with. I'm thinking you mean Breath of Fire 3. I didn't have that issue that I could recall. But it could also be kind of tough as nails, at least for me. And then it says after N64 Nintendo consoles were only used for Nintendo games. They got very like closed off from other third-party games. They got pretty rare. But I mean, GameCube, had freaking Resident Evil. Had Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 remake, and Resident Evil 4, which were all fantastic at the time. Although 0, I don't remember so well. I mainly remember like replaying Resident Evil 1 remake and Resident Evil 4, playing the shit out of that. That was a blast. Like you said, if only we could go back sometimes.
Oh, reminiscent of a bygone era.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, Stargate. Sounds like a plan.
I think, what are we on? Need? Is that the episode?
Yes. Let me just see. It is season 2, episode 5, Need. All right, folks. Here's what we're going to do.
The slaves.
This is the whole sarcophagus poisoning and turning Daniel into a little creepy, twisted. I don't know what you want to call it. Spazoid. Dad asking, you don't remember picking up all those slugs in 0? No. My brother might have played more of he definitely played a lot more of the games than I did for the original. But I don't remember so much of the slugs and stuff for Resident Evil 0. But yeah, well, I wanted to get plenty of topics under the belt. We talked 50 or so minutes on Acolyte, so all right. We're gonna try this out. For anybody that wants to do the watch along with us, I'm dropping the links now. I'll be switching things over to Odyssey, Rumble, and Kick. So if you want to watch along with us, drop on over to those platforms. We'll be stopping the stream here on YouTube, trying this out for the first time. But there are the links. So if you want to join us over on those alternative platforms, either one works. Please do. And yeah, we'll be watching Stargate and you can watch along with us. And I'll actually be sharing the screen so you can actually see it and not just hear it. That's kind of the advantage of these alt tech platforms for the time being before they get too big. They can do stuff like that. But yeah, so join us on over there. We're going to play the little thing and hopefully we'll see you there. So thank you all for watching here on YouTube. If you haven't, please smash that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section too. If you get the chance, help us get found in that algo. And yeah, drop on over to Kick, Odyssey, or Rumble for us to watch some Stargate. See you there. And thank you for watching.